We got a good show for you tonight. No Wyatt Langford in the lineup for the Rangers, but Jacob deGrom, one of the greatest pitchers, well, ever. Let's just be real. On the hill for us, that's always a treat. In the second inning, special guest returning, Kane McCutcheon, beat writer for the Texas Rangers. We're going to get his thoughts on the series so far. Fourth inning, we're going to talk about that fan that was banned from all of Major League Baseball ballparks for yelling at Ketel Marte. And I want to have a conversation about heckle culture, I guess. I find it despicable. We'll talk about that. Sixth inning, we're going to do an update on our new Rangers X community. Hopefully, we're going to get to our 100th member in about 24 hours, maybe during the show, maybe before the show. Texas Rangers X, the new community over on, well, formerly Twitter X. And then the eighth inning, going to introduce you to Texas Rangers Spaces with the creator of the MLB Spaces movement. We'll talk about that. He'll be back on the show for, well, he's been on a few times. Tonight, 5:30 our time, 6:30 Baltimore time, my Rangers versus maybe your Baltimore Orioles. See you then. It's time for Texas Rangers baseball. We're in Baltimore tonight. We're on YouTube tonight and Twitch, YouTube over on my channel's Texas Rangers Clubhouse and Dope Dad. If you're over on Dope Dad, come on over to Texas Clubhouse. That's where the chat happens. If you're over on Twitch, well, I appreciate you being over there too. Encourage everybody to come over to the Texas Rangers Clubhouse. Here is the run of the show for tonight. Kane McCutcheon, Rangers beat writer, will be back with us tonight. He was here, what was it, 2 nights ago? Monday, I guess. We'll be here on tonight's game, here in about the second inning. Hey, Fulton, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Happy birthday to you next month. That's nice. Kane will be here in the second inning. That should be a good time talking about this series and just everything Texas Rangers and a little bit of MLB too. In the fourth inning, we're going to talk about Ketel Marte and that fan banned for a long time, undisclosed period, hopefully forever, for talking garbage about his dead mother. We'll talk about that. Generally, fan interactions and what's the word I'm looking for? Heckle culture throughout, well, sports. Sixth inning, we got an update on the new Rangers X community. We'll be talking about that, looking to get our 100th member in about 24 hours. That's pretty exciting. And then the eighth inning, we're going to bring my buddy from the MLB Spaces back. We're going to be introducing you to a brand new thing called Texas Rangers Spaces. And that should be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be audio on X. Might do a pregame show, might do a postgame show, might do both. I want to encourage you guys to get involved with that, and we'll talk about that a little bit more this afternoon and his idea for the entirety of Major League Baseball. Big game tonight. Jacob deGrom on the hill for the good guys. I'm really excited about it. You should be too. One of the great pitchers of all time. You get to watch him play, whether it be with your own eyes at the ballpark or on TV. It's an honor. It's a privilege because he is one of the best ever to do it. And I'm excited that he's on our team. If you're watching the show over on Victory Plus, I am too. That's why we call this a watch party, live stream watch party, where we watch the game, talk the game. It's not play-by-play by any means. It's just a good time hanging with some friends, talking baseball, and commiserating or being excited about my Rangers. And we talk about the rest of the league too. Line for tonight's game for my Rangers: Smitty, Haggerty, Seager, Simeon, Garcia, Carter, Young, Heim, Osuna. Interesting game last night. We talked about where's the power. Sam Haggerty stole 3 bases and didn't even start the game. That hasn't happened since Jared Dyson. I just heard them talking about that on the pregame show. Unbelievable. And then Evan Carter scoring from third base on infield ground balls twice. We won with our legs yesterday. Of course, we can't forget Jacob Latz had a no-no into the 7th inning. I feel like we didn't even talk about it much during the game yesterday. Of course, I was interviewing somebody, but wow, what a performance from him. Brandon Young for the Orioles. Not a big name by any means. Right-hander. The lineup for the Orioles stacked with a bunch of lefties against deGrom. There was this narrative early on in the season that lefties were getting to deGrom. It's not true. The data is pretty clear on that, actually. It's not true in the least. But whatever, that's what people do. And I guess I would too, because you're going to have a better chance as a lefty than a righty against him, I suppose. But it's still Jacob no matter what. NBA draft tonight. We'll be talking about that, of course. Also, I think we got about an hour before the Mavs make their first choice, and it'll be Cooper Flagg. That'll be exciting. First pitch of the game to Smitty on the outside corner, strike one. Again, we won't be providing play-by-play by any means, but we will show you and talk to you about, or not show you, but talk to you about the game throughout the evening. Right now, Josh Smith leading off for my Rangers. Hitting 282 on the year, another fastball. This one a little outside. I love Jim from, yeah, more sunshine, please. He's a great dude. Fulton, if you get a chance, please tell him I miss him. Hope he's having a great day and having a happy birthday. That's awesome. My youngest daughter turns 21 this weekend. We're having a big weekend party planned for her. TLC, amen. Welcome in. Member of the channel, good friend of the show, TLC 94LS. Yeah, we do have to beat up this pitcher. Look, if we can win this game, this will be the fourth road series in a row that we capture. So everybody who thinks that the sky has fallen on the Rangers, a lot of reason to think just the opposite, actually. And a win here will continue that trend. We're 2 games under 500, so a win tonight will not get us there. A loss is 3 games behind, and that's a lot harder to climb out of than the one. So it's a big game for a bunch of reasons. Guess it depends on your definition of getting to DeGrom. What, a couple hips? Yeah, exactly. I agree with that exactly. Little weak ground ball by Smitty, the second baseman, 4-3, 1 out, and this game is underway. Sam Haggerty, 276 average on the year, hitting second for us, coming to bat now. If you're brand new here, welcome in. My name is Jeff Bates, at Jeff Bates on X. You can follow me over there. The show is live on a couple of YouTube channels, both mine, Dole Whip Dad, where I think Fulton might be, I'm not really sure, and Texas Clubhouse, where I do a lot of baseball stuff, and I hope you guys like it. First pitch popped up on the infield. That'll be an F6, 2 outs in 7 pitches. And, of course, you can get me over on Twitch at Texas Rangers Clubhouse over there. See where people are now. We got 7 people here. Little something for everybody here. 5 people over at Texas Clubhouse, 1 at Dole Whip Dad, 1 over at Texas Rangers Clubhouse. So we're all over the place, and I like that. Have streamed over on X2, but frankly, I just don't believe in the data that they give me. They think they tell me how many people are here, and I think it's a lie, and I just don't want to be lying to people. So I stopped doing that. Yeah, so it's worse than that, TLC. He might be going on the IL. It's got a little bit of an injury issue. You're going to get him looked at tomorrow when they're back in Texas. And Bochy didn't say he was going on the IL, but he didn't say he wasn't either. So we'll see what happens there. Corey Seager in there, hitting 240 on the year. How he goes, we go. We need him, get him rolling. And he is rolling. A couple hits yesterday, even a stolen base. Had a home run and a double in the last series. He's warming up as the summer warms up, which a lot of us expected. But right there, it's going to be a 3 unassisted. That's a quick first inning for the unknown pitcher from the Orioles. I'm going to send an invite to our first guest of the night. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have Kane McCutcheon for the second inning. Again, we had him last a couple days ago. He'll be here for an inning or 2 tonight. And then we got another guest a little bit later. Regardless, don't go anywhere, and we will have you back with the Ranger game here shortly. My mouth went away. Got a contest for you. Check this out. Congrats to Daniel Rodriguez, who wins this car, and I'm going to throw in this one too. This one's not in great shape. So you're getting a 2-for-1 deal, even though you entered just for this one. Danielle Rodriguez at Tired Stepmom. What a fun X username. Anyway, congrats to her. Another contest. I haven't, as I'm filming this, I haven't posted it yet, but by the time you see this, I have. Go to my X at Jeff Bates on X. Follow the prompts. Win a card like Danielle did, and maybe I'll lie and send you 2. All right, we're going to give away another one of those 1991 Nolan Ryan Pacifics cards because you guys seem to like it. This one's showing him as a rookie with the Mets. Pretty cool, right? Nolan Ryan, 91 Pacific. Follow the prompts on my X. Pretty easy. You can win this like Danielle won yesterday. And I'll show you that card a little closer. Tomorrow's card, tonight's card, I haven't mailed it out yet. It's right here. Danielle wins 2 cards, actually. The one that I promised, and I'm throwing in an extra. And tomorrow's giveaway, today's giveaway that I'll send out tomorrow, I'll probably send them both out at the same time, but whatever, is this one. Same set, 91 Pacific. It was popular. Yesterday, people seemed to like it. So, New York Mets rookie pitcher. And I promised if we had 21 retweets, retweet slash entries yesterday. If we have more than that, or whatever the number was, if we have more than that in this one, I'll just keep going. I'll do it every day until we don't have as many as we did the day before. I hope that makes sense. Carson, now what's going on, Carson? Hope you're having a great day. Welcome back, my friend. Always good to see your name in the chat. Jackson Holiday leading off for the Fight Nose against the stud, Jacob deGrom. Chelsea says, hasn't been sharp. Maybe could use 2 weeks, which it'll be a lot longer than that with the break. Talking about Wyatt Langford. 98-mile-per-hour heat from Jacob deGrom, 1-2 on the leadoff hitter. Jackson Holiday hitting 262 here in June. $11 beautiful people here. 8 over on my main channel, Texas Clubhouse. 2 over on Dope Dad. Hope you come on over to the Texas Clubhouse channel. Strike 3. deGrom little changeup away, making Holiday looking goopy. 1 over on Twitch. Welcome to all of you. Really appreciate you stopping in here on this Wednesday evening, afternoon, depending where you're at. 5:30 start Central Time, 6:30 start in Baltimore. Talking about 100 degrees start time. That over 100 degrees Monday and Tuesday. I think they had 100-degree start time today too, likely. I'm just going by how hot it was in the pregame stuff. Might actually be cooler coming home to Texas in June. You can't say that every day. Yeah, he's a talented kid, man. The kid has got a brother, Ethan, who will probably be the probably the 1 overall pick. What here, like 3 weeks in July? Of course, his dad, Matt Holiday, superstar. Daddy's a big pickleball player now. Well, the whole family is. They got a pickleball place right there at their whole workout station. It's pretty cool. Kind of a ranch setup. Everyday Mets in the house. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're having a great day. You get to watch your former Met Uber superstar Jacob deGrom on the hill for my Rangers tonight. Your Mets are having a little trouble right now, man. Dropping their first place status to the Fighting Phils. Amen to that. Homeschool your kids so they can grow up normal humans. 9 people here, 1 or more at all 3 of our locations: the Dope Dad YouTube channel, the Texas Clubhouse YouTube channel, and the Twitch Texas Rangers Clubhouse channel. Appreciate all you being here. Ground our fly ball F7 for the second out. Gunnar Henderson, one of the great players of our game. I'm a big fan, honestly. He's a stud. He's the stud. And when Adley Rutschman is out, like we're missing Adley Rutschman, one of their big bats, big superstars. He's down with an injury. Gunnar is obviously their best player when Henderson's out. So I was wrong. First pitch today, a sticky 89 degrees, according to Jeff Wilson. A sticky 89. I mean, sure, that's pretty uncomfortable still. 13 pitches into the first inning, 0-2 pitch on the 3-hitter, Gunnar Henderson. Everyday Met says, I reported chaos is Pittsburgh last week. Today they are benching on Ilkers. Are they really? Strike 3. Was that a changeup? I think it was a changeup away. And that's a great first inning for the GOAT, Jacob deGrom. What did they say was up with Langford? They're going to get him looked at, excuse me, I can't talk. Looked at tomorrow when he comes back to Texas. Coach, he didn't say he's going on the IL. He didn't say he's not going to go on the IL. You good, Kane? All right, we got another guest. You already know him. Of course, I get a cough in my throat. Red as I say his name, Kane McCutcheon. How are you, my friend? Are you having a great day? Can you hear me?
Doing well. Yes, I can hear you.
Nice. What's going on? How you think it's hotter at 89 and muggy in Baltimore? Or you think it's hotter in the air conditioning of Globe Life Field?
For me, it's actually gets quite cold where I am at the ballpark.
Yeah, that's true. I've joked with you on this about this fact before. I don't think we mentioned it last time. Guys, this is Kane McCutcheon, Rangers beat writer. Welcome him back in. He was here with, was it Monday? I guess it was Monday he was here. And yeah, you if you don't know where Kane and the other guys and gals go to watch the games that you get to cover is got some elevation to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit. So when you guys talk about my camera work on my videos for my phone,
yes.
Like, A, I'm not a photographer. B, we're 80,000 feet in the air. Like, come on.
Do you get garbage for that? They give you crap on
from time to time, yeah.
Hey, tell me you're flying it.
When you're filming from the International Space Station, I mean, it's a little tough to kind of zoom in and get good quality. So
it is pretty high. I've only been up there, I guess, for a tour or whatever. And it's a little bit of a trek, and it's kind of weird. I've been in a few. I've been, to different ones than in Texas, and I don't know. It's a little less baseball-y than I would think it could be and should be. Is that on purpose? Do you think, or do you think just nobody cares? You guys are baseball-y all over the place. You don't really care about your workspace being baseball. I mean, I don't see I don't know. There's not a Beltray thing. I don't know what I'm expecting, but it doesn't look anything like where it's baseball time or what is it? Baseball time. It doesn't look like his setup with all the bobbleheads outside. It's just kind of a work spot.
Yeah, it's very clean, very modern. There's a lot of nice pictures up in there, and it's nice. It's a good workspace. It's nice and big, so I can take up 2 or 3 seats on non-packed games and be okay with it. So it's nice. I like it.
Marcus Semien doubles into the left field. Well, it was really a hustle double, let's say. I'm not going to say it was into the gap so much. That was a solid base hit that the left fielder had to go get, but he takes no for an answer and makes it into a double because he's hustling like he always does. Actually, it's pretty close play at second now that I watched the replay. That almost got by the left fielder watching the replay there, too. That could have been, if the center fielder doesn't get there in time, that could have been even more. Brings up Dolly, our 5-hitter, nobody out, top of 2. So last we spoke to you, we were talking about you and being a sports writer, and I loved the conversation so much. Last night we talked to, as I think I told you live, John Moore, who talked. You told me to ask him, and he hit it on the head and talked about what it was for him when he started it off, and then why he did what he did with you and all that. I'd really like to get your thoughts on just the state of the Rangers if we can today. I know I don't have you as long, but we talked a little bit of, are we buyers or sellers? I think the fandom is obsessed with that. I'm not going to necessarily go there, although you can say it if you want. But what do you think is going on with the guys? I think I love what I see, and I get mocked all the time for being an optimist, which I'm happy with. Berger's out, but I still believe in him. Simeon's on fire. Seager's getting warm. I don't really love what I'm seeing from Josh Young right now, but Evans hot. We're a little worried about Wyatt with the injury, but Dolly's been fine. Elite defensively. The catcher tandem I'm very happy with. Am I crazy? I really like what I see. And by the way, I didn't even talk about our elite pitching, but where do you think we're at as we, about a week from the All-Star break?
Yeah, well, I think in terms of offense, the quality of at-bats is much higher than it has been, over the past month. And that's something that, let's be honest, are most fans watching all 162 games? Probably not, But quality of at bats is not something that you pick up on unless you're watching on a nightly basis.
That's fair.
Box score watchers are not picking up on that. So I think overall, the quality of at bats has gotten better. And they're still right in there. Like we mentioned, a little too early to look at standings for me, but it's coming up on that time. And so, when you take the glances, they're still right there. Obviously, Houston has, really started to play well. So in terms of the division, it'll be interesting to see kind of how that finishes. But in terms of the playoff picture as a whole, they're still right there. The pitching is holding. And, I think with the offensive start that you had, I don't think you can look at this position that you're in right now and be super disappointed about it, especially because of how they came out of the gates. Like I said, I don't think you can look at it and just have no hope right now.
Now, I don't want to assume you watched yesterday's game. Did you watch yesterday's game?
I did.
As a baseball fan, as a baseball fan, I loved yesterday's game for a couple of reasons. I was interviewing John, so honestly, I was paying attention to the interview more than the game, more than I normally do. But a couple of things I want to really highlight, and then I want to get your thoughts on it. Jacob freaking Latz, like we talked about the opportunity he had the very day that we learned of losing Bradford, and then he gets to start Evan Carter, one out, man on second. And he took a no-hitter into the seventh inning. My goodness. I think he had 2 hits and 2 walks. I'm not looking at the stats. I don't want to be wrong. I might be wrong on that. But he was brilliant. He was fully brilliant. That's a great start. And then we didn't win the game because we blasted a bunch of home runs. We won our game because we got some legs. How many times has somebody come off the bench and stolen 3 bases? It hasn't happened since Jared freaking Dyson a long time ago against us. I heard that in the pregame show. And Evan Carter scoring from third on 2 infield singles. I love the hustle. I love the reliance on speed. I like to see us do more than that. I think Langford, if healthy, can steal 30. Carter can steal. I'm just putting 30 as like a big number. Carter can do it on Haggerty in limited play, could probably get 20. My point is, and it's more than just stolen bases, by the way. It's putting pressure on the defense, scoring from second, moving from first to third. I loved yesterday's game from a baseball purist standpoint. Great pitching, great base running. Am I crazy? What did you think? I mean, hey, I love slug. Don't get me wrong, but we might not be that team this year.
Yeah. Well, I'll preface by saying I was at the Wings game yesterday, so I kind of went back and did my research of what I do, and I don't get to watch the games full live. But yeah, for starters, I mean, Jacob Latz, this is someone that has earned the confidence of Bruce Bochy before yesterday. He's mentioned multiple times that he's been throwing the ball really well, that he can pitch and leverage, and I think it was very interesting to see and important almost to see Bochy talk about, like, this is not a bullpen game. This is a starter. Yeah. Jacob Latz is going out and starting, because what he did in the last bullpen game was starter length gave you and was high quality. So, he's someone that is throwing the ball really well. And, with the rotation injuries right now, you mentioned Bradford, obviously Malley, Valdi on the shelf. That's huge. Anytime you can get anything like that, that's huge. And then to the base running, I think something that's very interesting is Bruce Bochy puts a pretty big emphasis on base running, but not necessarily in the way that you would think. I mean, since he's gotten here, the Rangers, haven't been that crazy, base stealing team like they really were for, a while before he got here. He puts a big emphasis on the things you talked about, taking the extra bag, tagging up to third, tagging up to second if you can, putting pressure on the defense, like you said. Obviously, It helps when you've got someone like Haggerty who comes in and just steals to basically manufactures a run. Like, that's huge. And certain guys can do that, but there's a lot of guys that can't do that. But every single guy, no matter how, you don't have to be fast to be a good base runner, right? Every single guy can run the base as well. But, to your point, like, that's what they need to do. As there we go, Josh Young.
Yeah, baby. Yes.
All right.
They sit in the right field, take the lead. Good guys won. Bad guys, nothing.
But that's what they, can and should and be, should be expected to do, right? Not every guy's going to steal 30, but every guy should be able to take the extra base when they can, put pressure on the defense when they can. And so that's what, to your point, like, it's good to see that. And that needs to happen more often for sure.
You're not always going to hit 4 home runs, right? I think that great baseball teams score runs when they're not hitting. And I feel like that's one of the things that I wish we had been doing more of in April and May. I feel like almost we were. I mean, I'm just putting my brain into the thoughts. It's probably silly, but we were waiting on the slug that just wasn't coming when we had the opportunity. I mean, I didn't know Haggerty's. I was wrong on Haggerty, and I'm so glad to be wrong on Haggerty. But and Evan Carter's been hurt. But I look at, like I said, Langford and Carter, and even Simeon as guys who could. Again, I'm talking about steals, but that putting that pressure on them and just being a little bit more aggressive. I love it. I loved what I saw yesterday. I mean, Corey Seager stealing kind of scared me. Got to be real. Keep your hammy okay. But even Jonah Heim, who's up to bat right now, he's got 3 or 4 bags that he's taken. I mean, sometimes the opportunity is there. I mean, Haggerty stole third. They didn't have a throw yesterday. So sometimes it's about what the defense might be giving you.
Right. And then, defense and, certain pitchers are slower to the plate than others. You've got to be able to take advantage of those, especially even more so when you're not slugging. And so, you don't have to be fast to take advantage of that. And I think we've seen that, kind of taking a step back. I think we've seen a better base running approach this year compared to the last couple of years. Oh, Heim with a bouncer right down there. There we go.
Talking about speed, Josh Young's not the quickest guy, but we get first and third. I'll take that. Yeah. Jonah, I don't love his silly junior high. What is that, DAP or whatever they used to call that?
Yeah, he brought back DAP, yeah.
What is he? No matter what the rest of America is going to do, he's going to go back to that. Base hit down the line, little hopper over the the infield, the first baseman was in, so that explains it a little bit. But wow, I didn't expect that to bounce over his head. First and third now. 2 outs, good guys up 1-0. Talk to me about Josh Young, one of my favorite Rangers. I love him. I'm a baseball card collector. He's a baseball card collector. We're both people of faith. He plays third base. He's got a little slug. He's got a great glove. Hasn't had a great year this year. I mean, he's on third right now. Hopefully he'll score. But you think we're at the come on, Josh, let's have a great year? Do you think, hey, Aubrey, what's going on? You think we're at he maybe is at risk of not being with the Rangers in 26 if he doesn't give us a season that we expect? I'm such of a fan that I don't want to even go there. But what are your thoughts? Has he shown enough to keep the spot? I mean, obviously for this year, he's fine there. But have we seen what Josh is, and this is it, or do you think there's more in the tank?
No, I don't think that he's really in any danger of losing a spot next year. I think he's, as of now, is certainly looked at as someone that's gonna contribute to the team years down the line, at least the way I see it. To your point, he's struggling. This is also a guy who just has gotten hurt a lot and hasn't played much. The one year he did play like nearly a full year in 23, he didn't really scuffle that much. Like, he was an all-star. He was, he had a great second half as well. So it's just a young guy that, I know we don't really view Josh Young as a young guy, but he really hasn't played like that much baseball compared to how many years he's been in the organization. So I think just getting through the scuffles and kind of having him work it out, I think there's value in that. But I think there's a lot of other guys that can be probably picked off, and I'm not going to get into that, but they can be picked off as if they don't have a good year, is their spot in jeopardy? Maybe. I don't think Josh Young is one of those guys personally.
The reason I asked that question is because you probably have a little more inside baseball on this than I do, and I wanted to kind of lead you there. Osuna grounds out 4-3. A Young comes. Oh, he doesn't come in because there's 2 outs. What am I talking about? My mind is on talking to you more than the game, just like I was last night. Anyway, 1-0, good guys. Let's just move on. I've heard, I think Josh even said it publicly, that he's really taken a larger leadership role, even though he's a young guy, in the in the clubhouse. And I don't know, do you see that? At the conversation I had with John last night, and kind of continuing it on in my head, that they're more of a cohesive unit than maybe the public sees. And we didn't really get into Josh Young too much last night. We talked about Marcus and Corey and some other names, but I've heard, I don't know, I've read that Josh at least was going to try to this year be more vocal and more of a leader. And I'm just such a huge fan. I kind of want to hear you tell me that that's happening, but you tell me the truth.
Yeah. No, I think it definitely is. I mean, it started on opening day. He got all the guys, gift boxes on opening day. And Bruce Bochy was like, for a young guy to do that, That's a big thing. And yeah, he's definitely taken more of a leadership role. I think to the point that you did bring up was like, it is a very, very close, group. They're just not a very like flashy group. They're not an in the media group. Like, they're not going out and tweeting and posting all that type of thing. They just kind of go about their business and,
Play ball.
yeah, I mean, that's really what it is. Because, like, let's be real. Like, we can rattle off guys that, aren't like that. That are here for the flashiness of it, and not saying they're not good ball players, but they care more about the flashy side of things and care more about the style and the social media. This group, especially the leadership group, really just isn't like that. The way I see it, I think just show up, go about their business, go to work, and maybe some people think that's bad and some people think it's good. Wherever you stand on that is where you stand on that. But that's just really the way it is. But I think that, going back to Josh Young, yeah, for sure. I definitely can sense that he's taken more of a leadership role on this team. And as someone that's been here for a while and, was a key part of the World Series run, he's definitely in that group for sure.
Yeah, I kind of was setting you up there because I love Josh. I love him. I think I like him more than anyone that speaks out loud that I can hear. And I would have been shocked if you didn't say what you said. I love the guy, and I want the audience that watches this live or on the replays to have a little more respect for him. Frankly, I think defensively, I think he's one of the best. I think his offense is still coming. Like you said, he's a young kid, and as it relates to the more of a stoic, my word, not yours, offense than maybe or lineup and roster than maybe a lot of Ronald Acuna doing the crip walk on their home run on the Rangers, and this old guy likes that very much. I love what we have attitude wise. But anyway, TLC says I agree, but what other third baseman is out there? It's also on my mind because a couple people in the chat have asked me about Murakami. We're way too early in June for be talking about next year's free agent market, but a lot of people have asked me about the big import from Japan and a couple other names. Aubrey Elmore in the house. What's going on, Aubrey? Hope you're having a great day. Speaking of Josh Young, 5-3 put out right there. Aubrey asked, will Adolis be traded? I will answer that, and then I'll let Kane tell me that I'm right or wrong. No, he won't. I don't think he'd get a lot of value back for him, and his value for us is high. One of the things, not everything's fantasy baseball. He's not going to hit 30 maybe. He's not going to hit 110 like everybody probably wants him to do. But that defense in right field, you tell me who's better. You tell me one person in the league who's better defensively than Adolis Garcia. I'll wait, and it'll be a long wait because there's not anybody. And he's still going to be a really good 6 hitter. This is me, not Kane. We'll see what Kane says. And he's going to hit, he's already given us a walk-off. That's a win that he's already given us. He's going to be fine. He's not going to be 290. He's not going to be 35, 110. But when you take that defense, if he's just a little above average offensively, which maybe he hasn't been yet, but I think that's a plus right fielder. What say you, Kane?
I would say too early to call on that. I think as of now, like if I'll say this, if it does come to the point where they do have to sell, and we are far from that. So if you were to ask me to say right now, I would say no, because I don't think that this team is going to be selling. I will say, I think there is a market for him because of what he did in the postseason. I think alone a contending team would love to have, as well as, like you mentioned, the defense. I think there is a market for him. I don't think the Rangers would be are set in stone on keeping him, but I think it's still too soon to tell. Because it's still too soon to tell if this team is going to be a buyer or seller. So if you're asking me point blank, do I think he's going to be traded? Too early to call.
Yeah, I strike 3 from DeGrom. I think that was a changeup away, and he's looking really good. Efficiency. I mean, boy, he's been so efficient lately. Let's talk about that pitching a little bit. Hey, I didn't ask you how long. I know I have you for 6 or 7.
Oh, all good.
Okay. I don't have anybody on until the 8th inning, so or seventh inning, whatever. I don't want to lie. So I think it was 8th inning. Whatever. Pitching. I mean, you're not old enough to know, like back to 71 necessarily, but historically, this is the best pitching staff the Rangers have ever had. I mean, without looking at data, it has to be. I mean, we've got some big names. We've got a lot of more Hall of Famers that were Texas Rangers are pitchers than hitters, which is weird. But they're not guys who are necessarily Rangers superstars. You know, we're talking about the Nolan Ryans and the Fergie Jenkins and the Bert Blylevel, and you can go back to the old the my time guys. A lot of names, but none of them were definitely Rangers for the most of their career. I think the greatest starting pitcher, just off the top of my head, for the Rangers might be Kevin Brown, who's here, 2 stints, but probably was known better as a Dodger, I think, after that big free agent contract. But all that to say, DeGrom, Eovaldi, I'll say Leiter's our number 3. I think that's a playoff rotation. If we can get to the playoffs, then everybody would fear. And I didn't even mention, Bradford's out now, but Gray, who maybe he's the pen, maybe he's a starter, Molly, Rocker, and I'll probably ask you a little bit about Rocker too, but where do you put this pitching staff, against the rest of the league in 2025? And do you think the second half is likely to be as good as the first half? Because that might be a concern for me.
Well, I don't know that it can be. That's going to be a pretty tall thing to live up to as far as being good in the first half, because this has been the best start to a season that we've seen from a Ranger pitching staff ever. And I've brought this up multiple times on my kind of media appearances, but like when we're talking about this team like contending, and it's like you line this pitching up in a playoff series, especially a wild card series or a division series, and it's not hard to argue that there's no other pitching staff that you would really want. So I think that alone gives you like something.
The Dodgers injured list, maybe, but
other than that, I think that alone gives you something to kind of hang your hat on. And so, yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to live up to what they did in the first half. I mean, performance-wise, yes, but also health-wise. And we're already kind of starting.
Well, but I mean, yeah, exactly. You just said what I was going to say. Eovaldi's out for a while. Looks like we get him back Friday. We've lost. I think Leiter went on for a little bit. Kumar's gone for a little bit. Mally's gone now, so it hasn't been. Let's be real. When we say health, we're talking about Jacob deGrom. He is the ace. And it's interesting to say because as we're talking about a playoff rotation, he ain't Madison Bumgarner, but he's not too far away. Nathan Eovaldi, one of the great playoff pitchers of our this era, and I don't know. I think you make a really good point. Who would you rather have 1, 2, 3 than? And do you agree that if it was today, 3 unassisted first out or second out, excuse me, of the top of the third, it would be if everything happened right now. It would be DeGrom. I'll say Eovaldi because he'll be back Friday, and Leiter. Yes, I mean that's pretty good 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, well, consider if Mally's still on the shelf, then yeah, I would probably put. If we're talking about a playoff series and everyone's healthy, I would say it would be DeGrom, Eovaldi, and Mally.
Yeah, well,
opinion. But
that's pretty impressive because then you can really extend that bullpen, right, like we did in 2023 with who I guess it was Haney and Gray, and I'm forgetting somebody, but
right,
throwing Leiter and Kumar and whoever. That's a. Well, and the playoffs are so different too. You can go 3 innings and have a good start as a starter in the playoffs. But I like our chances if we can get there.
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, that alone, like I said, gives you something to kind of be like, okay, if we can just get there, if we can sneak into the wild card, whoever that worst division winner is not going to like seeing our pitching, or the other wild card team, whichever seed they get. It's not going to like the pitching for sure. So. Yeah, I think that alone gives you something to kind of run with.
Yeah, I totally agree. Kane McCutcheon, Rangers beat a writer extraordinaire 1-0. My Rangers over the Baltimore Orioles in Baltimore in the heat and mugginess of Maryland. 2 outs. Top of 3. Corey Seager, 0-1 on the day. I've been excited to see Corey lately. I suspect his second half will be quite a bit different than his first. I don't know. Want to comment on Corey?
Yeah. Obviously you have to agree just based off what the track record is. This is going to be, his first year as a Ranger that he's not an all-star. So slow start, obviously had the injury and the kind of lingering hamstring thing, is that still bothering him? Who knows? But obviously if you're out there and you're suited up, then you're expecting to perform. And
he stole the base in a key spot yesterday, which
all right. So
about his health, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think that I mean, it's just not clicking. Like we've seen when he's on, like he's on and he's barreling, but he's just not barreling balls up right now. And, with a hitter as good as him, you have to think that it's going to come sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. Aubrey has a question. Do you see Smith playing first base long term? Obviously, we're talking about Berger being out there.
Yeah. I mean,
is it a platoon righty lefty Duran Smitty right now?
It could be. Yeah, it could be. I think Josh Smith is so interesting because, coming into the season, Chris Young told me, he was like, we're going to be able to get Josh Smith in the lineup 5-6 days a week. And I'm like, how much are you paying Bruce Bochy? Because that is a tall task with what this team has. I think, I think Berger has done, if we're talking long-term, Berger has done well. Very team-friendly contract. I think he's going to play there for a minute. But yeah, I think that Bruce Bochy is very comfortable with the Josh Smith pretty much wherever. The glove, I mean, it's amazing how no matter what position he plays, the glove follows him. And, I will say, seeing him play a high level defensively at first base and in center field this year, I mean, that just shows you right there what his defense is like. So I think, yes, the Rangers are comfortable with him playing first base if it came down to it.
Yeah, I think for me, it's about Zeke. If Zeke can hit, I'm talking about as long as there's no Berger, obviously. Then Zeke is, Zeke is a dynamic ball player when he's on. He's hadn't been on in quite some time. But what a trade that was, by the way. Gallo for Smitty and Duran. Duran, one of the best defensive arms in baseball. Come on, they're both shortstops. And they both play more other positions than shortstop. I think it's like if you ask Smitty what position he plays and you had to just pick one kid, guessing he says he's a shortstop. Well, I think Zeke would say the same. I don't know. Maybe different than that, but I think that's an unbelievable talent pool. But, obviously Zeke, he might be needing to. I really believe that it's likely that this is his last shot. If he doesn't take advantage of this time with Berger out, he might not continue to have a place on the roster. And that's hard to say because I love him. But Smitty, he's like the Swiss Army knife, man. I don't care who needs a break or I don't care who's on the IL. It's Smith's spot. And he's mostly our leadoff hitter. I don't know of any time in my life in baseball where the team's likely leadoff hitter, you have no idea what position he's going to play because it could be right field, center field, left field, third, short, second, first. Smith might say he's a second baseman if he doesn't say he's a shortstop. That's
yeah.
Fine.
I think he would just tell you he's a baseball player.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
It's so valuable what he's doing. I remember talking to Tony Beasley about just utility guys in general. And he told me, there's always going to be those guys, but, doing it like what he's doing. It's just such rarefied air. And, you put him wherever, and, yeah, he is like the Swiss Army knife, and he hits, too. I think that's something that's kind of lost on it, too, is, a lot of guys, when they're not playing a position consistently that can show at the plate, that doesn't happen with him. His offense is right there no matter what position he plays, and he's just a consistent player. If you could sum up Josh Smith in one word, it would probably be consistent. Defense, offense, he just gets it done no matter what.
Yeah, I like how you said it. He might just say he's a ball player. I love that. That's high praise. I love to hear that. Zero in the house says go Steelers. I love it. I know it's ladies basketball that you cover, but we're about 45 minutes from the NBA draft kicking off, and pretty sure I heard a rumor about we have the first pick in the draft. What are your thoughts on Mr. Flag coming to the Big D?
Yeah, well, I love the NBA as well, so
I know you do.
I watch it every night during the off season. I was kind of thinking back, and I've been watching sports since probably 2010, really watching it since 2012, 2013. So not a long period of time. But I think in terms of college, American college, I think Cooper Flag is the best college prospect that I've seen come out of the draft. He's the complete player. There's really nothing he can't do on the floor. He can score at all three levels. He can defend. He can knock down shots, like I said. Think about as a high school senior getting invited to the USA basketball select team and competing against the guys on the Olympic team, like that doesn't happen. And what he did at Duke, like it's rare that, especially at Duke, do players really like go off in terms of scoring the ball like Cooper Flag did. In college basketball in general, like you're not seeing guys average 30, 40 like you do in the NBA, but he was putting out those big scoring outputs. I think he's special. He's going to fit into that team beautifully with, Kyrie at the point when he gets back, obviously with AD. He's going to be able to come in right away. He's a natural scorer, so he's going to be able to get his own. He's going to be able to impact the game. And, it's an exciting time to be a Dallas basketball fan, Dallas sports fan in general. It's going to be great.
Weird. Like the Mavs go from, all right, they got a chance to make the playoffs to, are you kidding me? What did they just do? 10 years of horrible on the way to, oh my gosh, okay, never mind, we'll be fine. Like it's really been a roller coaster times 10 for Mavs fans in the past, what has it been, 3 months? Not even that long. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I'll say this though, and people are I obviously, would I have done the trade? No. Do I think the trade was smart? No. But you can't look at the team, and obviously Cooper Flag is a big part of that. But even before that, like a healthy Kyrie and a healthy Anthony Davis, like you can't look at that and tell me like I'm disappointed watching that every night. Like Anthony Davis is one of the 5 best defenders in basketball. Can score
when he plays,
when he plays. Yeah,
that's problem with Davis. Yeah, I mean, you can argue that trade if and only if Davis is healthy. Well,
yeah,
evidence demands a verdict, and the evidence is he's not that. He's older than Luka, and he's more injured than Luka. Like I don't want we all everybody. I'm not even a big NBA fan.
Well, that's the thing that's what it depends on, and when you're depending on AD to be healthy, that's not a good thing to
exactly
want to put your money on.
Did you see the pop up there? Josh Young playing Adrian Beltre.
Yes, in honor of Elvis's Hall of Fame induction this weekend.
Exactly. Well said. Exactly. By the way, last night I had an interview, and I felt guilty because I didn't give Jacob Latz the love because he threw a freaking no through 6. DeGrom's, is he perfect? I know nobody's got a hit. I think he's perfect through 3. I'm just going to keep having people on the interview because the team doesn't get any hits as long as they.
Oh, I have to stay on. Nice catch right there, Jackson Holiday.
Dang, yeah, I thought that was gonna find.
I might have to stay on if these events continue to transpire.
I'm not gonna get to go.
I'll say this: my dad always taught me not to say a couple words when something is going on in a baseball game. So I'm not saying nothing. You won't hear anything.
You know what? I make people mad every time. I am the least superstitious person you've ever met. Matter of fact, I would, as soon as, like, whether I was playing a million years ago or when I coached for a little bit longer, as soon as somebody said something like that, I'd for us, it was like, don't step on the lines. And as soon as somebody said, don't step on the lines, I was letting them know I was scraping the line. I don't know. I've got an attitude problem with that stuff. Dolly Graham's out, 2 outs, top of 4. This game is flying by. I'm not wearing my watch, but my goodness, I feel like this happens to me. I bring on people and the games speed up. Maybe it's just because I'm talking to them more, but we're 45 minutes in. We're into the 4th inning. Evan Carter up 2 outs. This is the second AB already, and it feels like we just started the game. I don't know. If we talked a little bit about this the last time I had you on, I think maybe we didn't, but I think we did. The changes in the game. I still hate that rule. Yeah, we did. We definitely did because you talked about staying so late here for sure. The base runner, I hate the ghost runner, but everything else, even the stuff that I hated when they put it out there, has worked pretty well. But I'm at the point, and maybe it's because I love the game so much. I didn't want the games to go faster. Of course, I wasn't sitting up in the nosebleeds until 11:30 at night, like maybe you guys had to do. So I get that. But to me, it's almost too fast lately. Am I crazy? Is the game on fast forward, or is it just me?
I don't think anyone that works in baseball will tell you, will you ever use the word too fast. The faster, the better. But no, I mean, I think it's good. I think it keeps people engaged.
It does. You're right.
It's for me, I'm all for it. I love it. It definitely has made a huge difference, and I think everyone that works across baseball will tell you the same.
That was my problem with it, though. Game base hit for Evan Carter, smashed the one in the center. My problem with it at the time was this is sports writer driven. This is about the industries. The people who were writing about it were acting like it was hurting baseball because they want to get home, which I get. I want to go home when I'm done too. But the TV audience definitely likes it too. It's a better product on the field to broadcast. I can't argue that side of it. And it's probably better for the players too, unless cut 20 minutes off of every night on your feet. That probably adds up over the 162.
Oh, 100%. And it's more action, right? Like that's in terms of generating new fans, right? I think that was a big part of it because baseball, there's going to be the people that love baseball like us, but then there's going to be the new fans that are trying to get into it. What do they want to see? They want to see action. They want to see stolen bases, X, Y, and Z. And so I think the new rule changes have definitely helped them a lot in terms of the growth of the game. I love it, of course. But
what would you, if you had the power, you're a commissioner for the year, what changes? I mean, obviously my first brain cells go to ABS, the robo umps. I'd like to hear from you though. What would you, I would fire many of the umpires. What would you do?
I think it would, I don't honestly have too many complaints about it. I think my main thought goes to the off season. How do we keep people engaged in the off season? How do we focus on making free agency more exciting?
We lose to the NFL. The NFL is so good at keeping their fans engaged for the 5 months that there's no football. Like we really need to take some notes there, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I think my first thought would go to that. And then also I think maybe an international draft, I would say, especially for, I think there's a certain age there. I will say I do like the posting system. But I think to me, I would find a good age to where you can either enter the international draft or wait and be posted. Oh, Josh Young. All right, there we go. How about that? All we got to do is talk about him.
Yeah, you must be a little ahead of me, but yes, he's my pick to hit a home run tonight, by the way. Jared Sandler asked every day on X, and that was my pick to go deep yesterday. I was wrong. Today, I was right. Velo 100. I got to be honest, off the bat, when I do these interviews and stuff, my screen's little, to be fair, but I thought that was maybe a gapper, maybe an F8, but that ball, obviously Baltimore's outfield dimensions are a little different than they were last year. I don't know if that comes into play in right field as much as in left, but I didn't think that was getting out is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, definitely a wall scraper, but they all count the same, right?
Amen.
But no, I think, yes, I think mostly my focus would go to the off season. I think during the season, I don't have a problem with the product. I know a lot of people, want to shorten the season. I wouldn't do that. It messes with the records too much in history for me, but I think my focus would go in the off season. I think the MLB has to find a way to keep people engaged, whether that's shortening the free agent window so we see more, whatever. I think that there has to be a better way to keep people engaged. I would also change up I think the winter meetings I would, change up a little bit. I mean, those are exciting, and I got the chance to cover that, which was honestly super interesting. I could talk about that all day, but I think that maybe could change, something there, but I think most of my focus would go to the off season.
Do you mind taking a break, a 90-second, 120-second break? I need to do something really fast, and we're going to go in between innings. Do you mind hanging out? I don't want to lose you.
Yeah, no, all good.
All right. I'm going to put on a quick, what do I have here? I will put this on a loop. I will play the Friday night promo. I'll be right back in 120 seconds with Kane and me and the Rangers. Be right back. Friday night game will be at Globe Life Field. TBD versus TBD on the hill, meaning we don't know who throws for the Rangers. We don't know who throws for the Mariners yet, as I film this on Wednesday at least. I will be live on Friday night, 7 o'clock start time, 7 to about 10. Live stream watch party. It's going to be a good time. We need this series. Biggest series of the year. Now, as we get closer to the end and as long as we stay in contention, they're all going to start being more and more important, but it's easy, it's honest, it's real. It's clear to see that this is the most important series of the season so far. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 27th, 28th, and 29th. Friday the 27th, live on my YouTube channel, watch party, live stream, me, you, maybe some guests, maybe some fun baseball, guaranteed some fun talk. Will you be there? I'll be there. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'll be there. And I hope you're there. Subscribe to my channel at Texas Clubhouse if you haven't already. Or if you're watching this right before the game, well, watch the game. It's going to start like right now. Friday night game will be at Globe Life Field. TBD versus TBD on the Hill, meaning we don't know who throws for the Rangers. We don't know who throws for the Mariners yet, as I film this on Wednesday at least. I will be live on Friday night, 7 o'clock start time, 7 to about 10. Live stream watch party. It's going to be a good time. We need this series. Biggest series of the year. Now, as we get closer to the end and as long as we stay in contention, they're all going to start being more and more important, but it's easy, it's honest, it's real. It's clear to see that this is the most important series of the season so far. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 27th, 28th, and 29th. Friday the 27th. All right, that's enough of me blabbering over there. I'll blab over here. 1, 2, 3 hitters for Baltimore. We go to the bottom of the fourth. 3-0, good guys. 3-0 lead with DeGrom on the hill. I kind of feel the same as I do when we're down 4-0 against anybody else. Their pitcher, who I don't think anybody's heard of outside of Baltimore, doesn't look too bad, but we do get a 3 spot after that 2-run bomb. But DeGrom is, well, Kane will get mad at me if I say what he's doing, but look at the box score. It's good for us. And he's smooth. He's efficient. He's like, what is it? I think it's 12 starts with under 2 runs or less. Some crazy number, the biggest of his career. I'm not saying this is the best Jacob DeGrom of his career, but it's pretty freaking great. Like, I don't know why.
Nice catch. It was good.
Oh, there we go. You got me by a couple seconds. You saw it before I did. Nice play, yes. So let's just take that, Osuna makes a play, and I haven't given him any love tonight. Man, is that the top of the wall? I'm not saying that's going to leave, but that was closer than I thought. I was not on the Osuna bandwagon. I don't know that I still am. I don't know. Talk to me. Sell me on Osuna. He wasn't one of our top prospects. He's not on the bottom of the list by any means either. But I guess my eyes and my ears were on other guys. Do you think Osuna's going to stick with the big boys?
I don't know. I think as if let's say there was a decision being made tomorrow, I would say no, just because of what we've seen at the plate. But as far as like if I had to sell you on him, a great athlete, first of all, obviously we just saw that right there. Plus defender, that's valuable. Can play left and right and could probably play center if they asked him to. Don't think that would ever really come to fruition. When he first got called up, he was taking really, really good at bats. Since has kind of fallen off on that aspect a little bit. I think that could benefit. I think he can benefit from consistent playing time at AAA. So if I had to bet right now, I would say no. But I think we've seen that he can take quality at bats, and he has a good glove. And a lot of time, sometimes guys can benefit from getting a taste of the big leagues, getting to play a little bit and then going back down to where they can play every day, kind of taking what they learned and working on it. So I think he's someone that could really benefit from that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Christopher Burnett popped in. I didn't say hello to you earlier. Sorry about that. Welcome in. Hope you're having a great day. I really appreciate you saying that. Thanking us for doing this. Thank you, Kane. If you don't know, that's Kane McCutcheon I don't have it in front of me. At Kane McCutcheon 3 on X. Do I have that right? Remember? I was halfway right. At Kane McCutcheon 6. As there are 5 other Kane McCutcheons on X. Let's go yell at them. What the heck?
There is not. That is actually my birthday. It's June 6th.
There you go. I like it. June 6th. So, hey, happy birthday, 2 weeks ago?
Good a couple weeks ago. Yeah, had a nice little fiesta party. We had a good time.
It's a birthday weekend at my house, too. My youngest turns 21 Sunday, I think. And that's sort of the little thing I had to do was birthday related, but that's a whole other thing. 3-hitter for the Orioles. Over one today, Gunnar Henderson. 45th pitch of the day for DeGrom. Our guest here, Kane McCutcheon, beat writer for not only the Texas Rangers, but the Dallas Wings. I gave him a little bit of garbage for the WNBA I love that you are. What's the word? Ground ball. Good. 4-3. I was worried about that off the bat, but 4-3. Piece of cake. DeGrom's smooth. What are we? 11 pitches an inning, 12 pitches an inning average. This is a pretty nice first 4 innings for the likely Hall of Famer. You know what? I was going to talk about the WNBA a little bit, but I don't want to. Jacob DeGrom, Hall of Famer? Yes or no? You're a young sports writer, but as a sports writer, you might someday have a Hall of Fame vote, right? Like, is DeGrom worthy?
I think he would get my vote. I mean, obviously he's not done yet, and still has a lot to add to it. But a lot of the advanced metrics and I think it'll be tough for him, but because he may not have the wins and the strikeouts and the longevity and the quantity of starts. But I'll say this, I mean, as we move forward in baseball, like that stuff is becoming kind of rarefied air for starters anyway. So it's like when it comes to the Hall of Fame ballot. So it's like how much I think that's going to be valued less and less as time goes on. And so that obviously plays to his favor. But yeah, I would say I think so.
I think that, and I'm much older than you, but so I've probably given this more thought, frankly, but you're a sports writer. So maybe if I were you, it might be a goal. My point though, I want to say is, well, I guess it becomes, are you a big Hall guy or a little Hall guy? And we can talk about that, but if I had a vote, there's 2 ways for you to make the Hall of Fame for me, if I had a vote, and it's peak value and career value. Pete Rose won an MVP, but he's a peak value guy. Sandy Koufax was a career guy. Sandy Koufax is a peak value guy. Like, do you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame for having 4 unbelievable years in a row? Yeah, I think you probably do if it's as elite as DeGrom was, but not everybody agrees with that. At the end of his career, whether he retires at the end of this year, which he won't, or he goes 3 years of elite pitching, he's not going to get 3,000 Ks. He's not going to get 300 wins. He's not going to have those big numbers. But who was better than him for what, a 3-year period? Nobody. 4-year period, maybe?
I think that's where I think typically I would lean more towards career, but when it comes to him, it's like, I mean, that peak was just so much higher than everyone else.
I think peak is more important because the eras are so different, right? Like what Ty Cobb was doing has no relevance to what Corey Seager's going to do, right? It's just a different game. Like, and I mean, you take a guy like Bonds, he obliterated the home run record. Well, the same freaking year, somebody else went over 61 too. Back when it happened in 61, when Maris and Mantle were going after it, one who had 56 and one had 61. So there's moments in time that the game evolves. And I think the 61 year with Maris and Mantle was one. And I think that year where Bonds and Sosa and a bunch of other guys went crazy. I think, and there's some reasons for it. We could talk about that too. But I think that peak matters to me probably more. I think with most people, though, it's about getting 300 wins, 3,000 hits, whatever.
Yeah. I think, too, though, now, I mean, and especially like when I think about when I could possibly get a Hall of Fame vote, obviously down the line, like those things are going to be so rare. Like it's more impressive if you get closer to that because of, the pitching, guys aren't throwing as many innings, and so I think it's more impressive. But yeah, I think as time goes on, I think it's going to shift more towards peak versus career.
Yeah, I agree. And then you make a good point about pitching. And like, there's not a lot of closers in the Hall of Fame. And you know what? There's none of relievers who are not closers. I think that'll change because, well, David Robertson, I'm not saying is a Hall of Famer, but look at this guy's career. Elite, unbelievable career, but wasn't a closer every year. Was a closer for a while. But the value he brought was just as valuable as, say, Emilio Pagan in Cincinnati. I mean, not that he's a Hall of Famer, maybe that's a bad comp, but I think that we're going to look at things differently in the totality of people's careers, and that peak value is going to, I think, I don't know, maybe I'm just a baseball nerd, but I think there's a lot of value that we ignore. And I also think there's guys who get in because of, they have a popular name. There's a bunch of guys in the Hall that I don't think should be there. But I think that we shouldn't, I don't even like saying that because I don't want to, crash on somebody's great career. It's an honor, and if somebody thinks you should be in there, I think that's cool. Brian says, back when I was younger, my mom owned a cabin in Big Bear. I know Big Bear well. Used to hang out there when I lived in Southern California. We were able to listen to Albuquerque Dukes AAA games. Nice. That was unusual treat when the radio. Yeah, well, Big Bear's way up high, and back when the radio was at night, you could get it from far away. That's pretty cool. Great question for Brian. Should Dennis Eckerly be in the Hall? Do you have an opinion on that? I mean, you're a young guy. Do you? I have a strong opinion on Eck. Actually, I think he's.
I can't say I have a valid, strong opinion on it. I mean, from what I know, which is probably nothing compared to a lot of people, I would say, yeah, I think
he does. He does. He was an elite starter. He pitched different than everyone else, which I put value on. I think doing it a little bit different should matter. And that arm angle that he had, hardly anybody was like that. They call it, if you want to go into the Wayback Machine, they say not unlike Walter Johnson was doing it at that weird angle. But he threw smoke, and that 88-89 season, couple seasons, Dennis Eckerly was one of the greatest closers of all dang time. Kind of gets dinged a little bit for giving up that Kirk Gibson home run and even the walk to Mike Davis in 88 before that. But he's elite and a very interesting guy. I'm a big fan. Aubrey says, not many Charlie Huffs nowadays. Charlie Huff's autograph is right there on my wall, part of the 1977 Topps set for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He was their closer that year. They went to the World Series. First start in the history of the Florida Marlins. But in these parts, Texas Ranger, well, I'll call him royalty. People love Charlie Huff. He started here, 5,000 years in a row? I don't know. But before your time, too. But any thoughts on Charlie Huff? I'm a big fan. Knuckle curve.
Yeah, I mean, everything from what I've heard. I wish I could have watched that whole era of pitching where, guys are just taking the ball every fifth day and throwing a bunch of innings. And I also have a former Dodger autograph on my background. I got the Adrian Beltre bat.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. His best year ever. Listen, I know I got most of the
uniform. Yeah.
I don't want to piss off my Ranger fan friends, but his best year ever was as a Los Angeles Dodger. I remember that year. He was unconscious. 3-0. Good guys. What do we got? Top of 5. Smitty, leadoff hitter for the lineup. On with nobody out, man on first. Jacob deGrom is the story so far. I won't say it, but go look at the box scores. I will say, as soon as Kane leaves, I'll probably say it because it's just the way I am. Jeff, is that really? Yes, I love. That was my favorite game when I was a kid. Brian, for many years, I decided I knew I would have to buy that, and they came down. Come on, that's one of those. I think we bought it at Walmart, Target, maybe. I never thought it would be something I would buy at Walmart or Target, but yeah, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I only play it 3 times a year, but it's turned out to just be a prop behind me, but I love it. All right, Brian put it out there. What else you like to do, Kane? Tell me about you. What are your other hobbies? Oh, hold on, ball. Oh, nice catch. I thought that might get in the gap there. You video game guy? Do you? I think you might have. Did you say you played tennis? I think you did.
I am a video game guy. I was always a video game guy, always sports game. Then I fell out of it. My girlfriend recently got me the PlayStation 5, which I did not have and I didn't care. And then she got it for me, and I was like, I guess I'm back into video games now. So I've been playing.
Usually the girlfriend tries to get guys off the video game. That's a good guy. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there, but keep her. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So video games, yes. I just kind of hanging out, always go. We have a lot of family events, love going to those, like to swim in the summer, as a lot of people here do. Mostly other sports, though. I really like watching other sports, basketball, hockey, pretty much anything. If it's a sport, I'll watch it and I'll, be a nerd over it. So like that. I do like keeping up with the current news too. I do enjoy watching that and kind of the ins and outs of that. I'm a big nerd, so I like doing that.
I might be a newsy guy too. I'm trying to wean myself off of it, but I'm failing.
The other day, I went to an art museum, and I told my friends, I was like, I'm going to an art museum, and they're like, why are you going to art museum? And I'm like, because there's a cool exhibit about modern art and politics in Germany back during the World War.
It's almost over, right? I've been trying to get my daughter to go. I'm going to nerd out with you. Don't everybody leave. We're going to talk art for a minute. Don't everybody leave. I don't know where you live. Don't say it on the screen. But I'm not too far from the Kimball. We go there. I go there a lot, but I haven't been to see that. Did you go already? You said
I did. Yes, we went. I think it might have been the last day we went.
I was going to say, I feel like it's gone if it's
Yeah,
so
I've been wanting to go for the longest time. I went. This was only my second time ever going. First time was for a school project.
to
Second
the
time,
Kimball or to a museum.
the Kimball.
Okay.
Yeah. And then but I went and I thought it was so cool. And my girlfriend was just looking at the pictures, and I'm like, why are you not reading the thing? Like, you don't even know like what's going on here. But I thought it was so cool, and I'm a big nerd about that.
My family hates going to the museum with me because I will be there for all day. I want to know all the facts. Like,
We were kind of on the time crunch a little bit because the LSU game, this was Sunday. So the LSU game where they won the World Series was about to start, and we rushed from church to the art museum. But yeah, we had a good time. I really
you can't have a quick little window if you really want to do it the way I like
did that. But I thought it was so cool. So yeah, I'm a big nerd.
So again, I'm going to watch the numbers. We might lose everyone, but I don't really care. Your favorite piece of art in that museum is, and there is a right answer. I'm just going to tell you, there is a right answer.
I don't know. Let me look at my phone.
Okay.
I don't know. In the exhibit, they had a lot of cool stuff in the exhibit. I'm trying to see back from the first time that I went, because this was during the off season. This was like in spring training. I went, and I'll see if I can maybe pull up a picture, but no, I don't think I have it. I think any of the religious stuff I really like. I would say.
Me too. If you ever get up to St. Louis, go ahead. I want to hear what you were going to say.
I would say my favorite would probably be the little. It's like a sculpture, the Jesus like sculpture, and it's his face. That would probably be my favorite.
If you ever get up to St. Louis, check out their unbelievable museum, and it's all sectioned off. But the Renaissance Christian religious section is just unbelievable. There's mummies there. It's unbelievable. I'm going to ask you kind of a trick question. You were just at the Kimball. You better get it right. Here it comes.
I probably
where is the only place in outside of Europe that has a Michelangelo painting on the wall?
Right here in Fort Worth.
That's freaking right. He was 15 years old when he painted that.
Yeah.
You know what I was doing when I was 15? Getting sand out of my boxers. I mean, they're nothing good. You got to go see it, people, at the Kimball. All right, we'll talk a little baseball now. But I love that. I want to talk to you more about that, though, I guarantee it. TLC wants to know, what triggers could you see to call up probably future Hall of Famer Craig Kimbrell? Martin's meltdown last night. I had a couple people message me about Martin, and one of them made me really think. The question was to me, and I'm going to add it to you with TLC's question. Do you think they had a tell on Martin? Because it's not like you're going to give up 3 bombs in an inning very often. Was he tipping his pitches? I didn't watch the game close enough. I have no idea. Haven't seen anything or read anything about it. But what do you think about Kimbrell? Will he come up? And, anything you wanted to say about Chris Martin?
Yeah. So for Martin, I also was not watching the game close enough to really tell. I was at the Wings game. But I think the Rangers are very cautious of that. They always kind of look at that stuff.
The tipping pitches part?
Yeah. And so, they're always looking at that. So that very well could have been the case. They're always trying to make adjustments. I know that very famously we saw, Jack Leiter with the huge glove, and now DeGrom with the glove that doesn't have his finger out of it.
Yeah.
So they're always kind of looking at that stuff. So he definitely could have been. Oh, there we go. Seager with the rib.
I was just going to say, I don't want to interrupt you, but base hits up the middle. Corey Seager, RBI. Osuna scores 4-0. Good guys. First and third still, right? I think it's still first and third here.
Yeah.
Pitcher almost makes that play. Watching the replay, he almost grabbed that.
And then Kimbrell, I think. I mean, he's obviously done. He's pitched well. I think, if. Right now, I really think that something that maybe kind of wasn't expected that is really kind of hurt him as far as Kimbrell getting up is the play of Cole Winn and Jacob Laz, because there's been, you look at those two guys as non-leverage guys that have really stepped up. And so I think for me, if Kimbrell were to come up, it would be because a non-leverage guy, which is really scuffling. So I would say that, but then also when it comes to the bullpen, you never know when they're going to need coverage. And it's hard to say Kimbrell's going to come to provide you coverage because he's not going to pitch multiple innings. But with the bullpen, it almost is how much do they pitch? And, maybe if the bullpen is taxed, then he might get his shot. Caleb
Bosley went down because he got tagged. Coach even said, Okay, it didn't work out. Now you got to give me 4. The first inning didn't work out. Game over. You got to give me 4 now. I mean, it's a really good point. I think that's exactly right. Marcus Semien up, 1 out, first and third. I think that if he comes up, it'll be when the opportunity presents itself, and who knows when that'll be. But, Latz, is he a bullpen guy? Yeah. Is he a starter? He can be. If he moves to the starting role, I know it's righty versus lefty, but that could open up a spot for him. If there's an injury, if we lose a win or we lose anybody. Marcus doing some damage. It's going to score another run, base it into left field. 5-0. Crooked numbers for my Rangers. 1 out. Top of 5. 5-0. Good guys. Is it a shutout no matter what? 5th inning, 6th inning of every Ranger game. Either we're being shut out or they're being shut out. I don't understand what's going on. I blame Fernando Valenzuela like it's 1981. Speaking of guys who threw all the innings back in the day. TLC going to go. What TLC said, going to go to the Vatican. Did I see that right? This is my very jealous face. That is amazing. My mom went to Italy without me, and I'm still pissed. That is amazing. Not to beat up Martin, but it was a bad outing. Yes, it was. Somebody. There we go. I remember last year, TLC says when John Gray got blasted, and it was because they had a tell on him. Yeah, I think I remember that too. Had John Moore on last night, and he made me more of a believer of a lot of people, a lot of buzz on X and in the fandoms. Ranger fandom saying that Gray needs to go to the pen. I think it's because in 2023 in our run, he was so good. And also we've got a lot of nice depth pitching wise. But I think I guess not. I think a guy with that much arm talent can do whatever the heck he wants. Corey Seager scores on the sac fly. 6-0. Good guys. Anyway, John was saying to me that he had talked to John Gray, and John Gray wasn't anti. I'll put it that way. He wasn't anti going to the pen. I don't know what's going to happen there. I think it's going to be more about what we just talked about with Kimbrel. For me, it's the same thing. What we need when he's ready. But that's going to be a valuable piece, whether he gets a start every 5 days or he's pitching 2 to 4 times a week out of the pen. Any thoughts on John Gray coming back?
Yeah. I think you pretty much hit a spot on. Team first guy. I mean, how easy would it be for a guy in a contract year who started before to be like, no, I'm starting? I mean, we just saw it with Aaron Savali, on the White Sox now. But he's good doing whatever, and that says a lot about him. And so, yeah, I think like you said, it's going to kind of be what do we need when he comes back, and that's kind of where you can plug in. Yeah. And maybe honestly, it's probably even before he gets back because he has to be built up. He hasn't pitched all this year, so it's what do we need as he's ready to be built up, which may not be, in the too far distant future from now.
Yeah. And I will say, you hit it exactly how I feel about it, at least, but there is a piece of it to be respectful, frankly, not only to John Gray, but to the team. It's a different ramping up. If you're going to go 3 or 4 times a week, full on 90, guys aren't throwing 100% every pitch. So 95% as a reliever, or more, 75 to 80%, because you got to go 5, 6, 7 innings as a starter. So there's something to be said that he or the organization needs to make a decision, not the day before he's going to come up by any means. But I do think that, he's shown us, the 2023 run showed us. And I think as it relates to value at the end of his, it's his last year of his contract. So I think of John Smoltz, and maybe that's not fair because as great as John Gray is, I think he's very underrated. He's not John Smoltz, Hall of Famer, but John Smoltz showed that you could be a starter and then be an unbelievable closer and go back to starting. Dennis Eckersley, we mentioned before, different era, but he was a starter who was on a Hall of Fame track and then became a reliever on a Hall of Fame track. That's why I think he should be in the Hall. Gray could really enhance his value for him and his family by coming in and closing down the end of the season, because no one's going to look at him as a starter that's going to give him a long contract if he only pitches July and August and September. And maybe I shouldn't say that because Jordan Montgomery had a couple key starts and got paid, but I think it would enhance not only the Rangers' opportunity this year, but his marketability.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think his free agency is going to be very interesting to see kind of what teams are going to value him as. And I'm very interested to see his free agency when it comes about.
4.5 innings done. We're going to the bottom of 6-0. My Rangers. Jacob deGrom coming to the hill. I'm pulling up the box score so I don't lie. Unbelievable start. Love that our offense is getting hits. Simeon with the double. Josh Young with the home run so far today. DeGrom, 3 Ks in 4 innings, but look at all those other numbers in the box score. That's the story so far. I know you don't want me to say the word, so I will not, but do you think we will ever see a pitcher individually throw a really popular thing that doesn't have a whole lot of hits in it?
Well, I certainly hope so. And I won't lie, every time I want to see y'all understand. I want to see one in person so insanely bad.
I got bad news for you. You're too young. They don't let the starters go anywhere.
I know.
It would have to be a 21-year-old on his first or second. You know who's going to throw the next no-no? I don't even know how to say his name. The kid who's for the Brewers, Mizorowski, whatever.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to let Jacob deGrom go into the 8th inning.
I want to see anything. Like, I want to see a, you know what so bad. No matter what happens. I know some people cover baseball for so long and never seen it. And I have been so close on multiple occasions.
Well, I was probably at a game. Detmers almost threw one against us. 24? Was it 24?
Yeah, I remember the closest I've ever been in general was Framber Valdez last year.
Yes.
He hit the home run because that was really an out of way.
Yeah, and I've been close too. I've been close 3 or 4 times, but I've never seen one either.
The closest I've been to a Ranger was actually, I believe, I don't know my personal stats, but I believe it was actually Jack Leiter this year.
Astros,
I think.
See, and there you go. Though, would they have let him go? They would not have.
Probably not.
And I don't know that I think combined should be something that we celebrate.
It's definitely less special. I will say that for sure.
Yeah. Where are we at? We're at the bottom of the 5th inning. I'm trying to see who the hitter is. Okay, it's O'Hearn. Okay, so 4-5-6 for Baltimore. Bottom of 5, 6-0. Good guys. This 6 runs is an absolute volcanic explosion for my Rangers through 5 innings. All we need to do is score 4, right? What do you think about that crazy stat this year? We're like 301 on road games that we score 4 or more. That, if that's the truth and that holds, which I don't know if it will, we win the AL West, Kane, because we're going to score more than 4. We are. As summer heats up, Corey's going to heat up. Marcus is already heating up. I believe deeply that from now through the end of the year, we're going to score between 4 and 5 runs a game. And the data makes us look really good there. Sanchez. DeGrom strikes out O'Hearn to get the first out.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely would be nice. I feel like I said last time I was on here, I feel like that stat is in my game notes every single day.
Right? Yeah.
But it's pretty crazy. And I mean, that seems to be the magic number. So you hope that you can hit that more times than not. Like you said, you can win some ball games.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the second half? What are you most excited about seeing, whether that be a personal plateau for a ball player or just the second half in general, or maybe it's not even a Ranger thing? For me, I think there's so many neat stories. I'm getting a message here. I think there's so many neat stories all around the league, and not necessarily in Texas, but I think the Texas Rangers, I was annoyed today when I saw an article, 5 teams that they really expect to have a big second half, and the Rangers weren't one of them. I just think it's playing out. I think it looks obvious to me, but maybe I'm homering it up. But what are your thoughts on the second half? I guess what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, well, always excited to see the playoff races. And then from a Ranger perspective, excited to see Corey Seager's second half because, like we've said, I think it's going to be much better. I'm excited to see DeGrom in the second half.
Yes.
Really see what's a full season of DeGrom going to be. Obviously, the trade deadline every year. And then, across baseball, like you said, there are a lot of really good storylines. I'm excited to see Ohtani pitch more in the second half. I'm excited to see if Cal Raleigh can keep up this ridiculous.
He cannot. It's going to stop tomorrow or Friday. Please.
There's a lot of things I'm very excited to see. A notorious Ranger killer, Cal Raleigh, come into town tomorrow, not in a good time.
He really started thumping us before he was thumping the rest of the league. It started against us, in my opinion.
Yeah, it really did. My first year, 22, was my first year on the beat, and he was at that point. No one really knew who he was, but he was all over us.
You know who else did that to us? Langoliers, both in the AL West. He was amazing against us, and now he's amazing against everybody.
I remember the 3-homer game. It's not very often that I remember specific games a lot of times, but I
was there.
very distinctly remember the 3-homer game.
DeGrom is filthy, folks. You might need to pick up the phone and call your friends. This might be something special we're watching. He's thrown like 4 pitches the whole game. I'm joking, obviously, but he's under 60. I guarantee it. Here, let me look. I don't want to lie to anybody. Let's see where he's at. I mean, that is let me refresh to make sure this is actively proper. But he's got to be under 60 pitches, right?
I don't know.
I can't find it. Why am I? Because I scrolled too far. Hold on. DeGrom. Yeah, 58 pitches, 41 strikes, 5 innings, 5 Ks, and a whole bunch of things that don't look like ones. Unbelievable. Kane was only going to be for a few innings, but since we're scoring runs and something else cool is happening, I might have to kidnap him for a while. Kane McCutcheon at Kane McCutcheon 6 over on X. Tell the people, we talked about it the other night, but we might have new people here. I hope and expect we do, frankly. Where can they find your stuff?
Yeah, so my stuff runs on X from my account and also from the Fans First Sports Network account. They do a great job posting all my stuff. Rangers and Wings, those are my main columns that I write. And I also get to help out with other stuff, which is super fun because I get to write. I write a lot of op-eds when it comes to the NBA, and those are always so fun. I love writing those. And just other sports as well. I kind of get to fill in there where they need me. So it's super fun, and I love doing it. And then at the ballpark, you can find me at 85,000 feet in the air in the press box. Or during batting practice, I'm not 85,000 feet in the air. I'm actually on the field.
The problem with the batting practice is you're down there for the home team, and we don't get in there with our tickets until you're done, yes?
Yeah, I usually leave when the Rangers are done hitting just because I usually have some work to do. But
Sure.
Depending on who it is, like, there's some players where it's like, okay, I got to stay and watch them up close and see. Like when the Cardinals were in town, like I was like, I got to watch Nolan Arenado take fielding practice right here, and I was standing right on the third base. Like he's one of the greatest defensive third basemen ever. Like I got to watch that up close and see. Like
I love you. I already love you, but I love that you're saying that. I have filmed full infields because I love seeing that. And Nolan Jose Ramirez is another one, but Nolan might be the greatest defensive third baseman of all time. He really might be. I love that you said that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. Yeah. Obviously we got Beltre here, so I don't know if we can, him and Beltre.
I love Beltre. He's my, maybe my favorite all-time player, but it's Brooks Robinson. It's, a couple of those guys.
Fair.
But Beltre was great. Beltre was definitely great. But Nolan Arenado, I think we might have talked about this before. I know I've talked with other people. What a high school infield. Matt Chapman, Nolan Arenado, the same high school infield. That's like fake. Like I say that out loud and I feel like I'm lying, but I know I'm not.
Yeah, not a lot of hits are getting by that, right?
Yeah, don't hit it over there. Don't hit it over there. Jonah Heim up 1 out, top of 6. 6-0. Good guys. DeGrom dealing. I'll just say yes. Check the box score. Call your friends. It's going to be a fun. Well, it's going to be awesome until somebody gets pulled and we go to the bullpen. 10 people here alive. I haven't said hello to a lot of people. Just 9 here on the clubhouse, 1 over on Twitch. I'm glad you guys are all here. We'll cut this up and make it a couple. I've got like 4 live streams I need to cut up as individual stuff. But this is Kane McCutcheon. Give him some love over on X at Kane McCutcheon 6. Okay, so we talked about this a lot last time. You get to write about the game you love. Obviously, that's a dream for a guy who loves baseball like you do and I do. Jonah, watch out, big freaking warehouse out there. You're about to get a dent. Jonah, deep into the night. The humidity in Maryland's not going to hold that one. Solo bomb from my boy, Jonah Heim. This is an explosion, buddy. This is volcanic. This is
there we go.
somebody
Right.
call the weather service. What is going on? 7 runs for my Rangers. Hanging changeup, David Murphy says. I wasn't looking, to be honest. That's why I'm watching it now. Yeah, well, boy, he knew it too. I love Jonah. That is good to see. Tell me about, well, let's just take the game. Took me there. Okay, we don't have an all-star catcher. I get that we don't have an all-star catcher. But the Jonah Higgy duo. That's pretty freaking good. Like, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I think I wrote a column in the offseason, one of my bigger columns. Oh, Zuna almost got into that one. One of my bigger columns in the offseason was like how important it was to find the right backup catcher because of how much Jonah played 23, even 22, 22, 23, 24. And I think they hit the nail on the head with Higgy. Was one of the better options. And yeah, I mean, it's a really good catching duo. Bobby Wilson is great back there, you know, in terms of defense for catchers, and he's seemingly helped out whoever's been here. And we've had a multitude of catchers since I've been on the beat. But yeah, I mean, it's a good catching duo. You know, when you're not losing a beat when the other guy slips into the lineup, and there's not really a 1 and 2, it's kind of a 1A and a 1B, and that's how it was supposed to be, and that's how it played out. So anytime you have that, you've got a good catching room for sure.
I mean, I'd love to have Cal Raleigh, but if I was forming my roster, I would go this route. Obviously, you want an MVP if you have an MVP, but you know the truth about Jonah Heim is he was elite in 2023, but he caught, what 120% of the innings through freaking almost November. I mean, anybody who thought he was going to have a good 2020, if you had Jonah on your 2024 fantasy league, you weren't watching. Like, there was no chance he was going to have a big year then. And I fully expected him this year to have even a bigger year. And he hasn't been having a big year, but he's been fine. I don't love our throwing out base runners, especially Higgy for that matter, but neither one of them have been even average, frankly. But everything else, base it up the middle right there. Oh, right to Gunner. You're not allowed to play over there anymore, are you? What the heck? I love the tech catching duo. I knew we would go get a catcher. I thought we might keep Kelly. He was pretty bad for us, and he's doing great for who is he with the Cubbies, whoever he's with.
Yeah, Cubs.
Out of his mind this year. But I didn't see us going out and getting the best available catcher, and that's exactly what Higashioka was.
Yeah, he was. I gotta agree with you. He was a little bit above my target range as well. But
yeah. I knew we'd get somebody. He wasn't on my list. Like, when I heard that signing, I'm like, what? That's pretty good. Kenny Nichols says Brooks Robinson, he was the best third baseman. Defensively, yeah, I think it's hard to argue that one, but I would say Nolan Arenado is at least there. Like, that's how good he was. Top of the 7th, my Braves are pounding the Phillies, says Brian. The Braves are such an enigma. I don't know who's been the most disappointing team, but it might be the Braves. Let's talk about the rest of the league. I mean, I don't know. How much do you get to follow that Smitty strikes out the end of the inning? We go to the bottom of the 6th, up 7-0. How much do you follow? I mean, you've got to, like, I follow all of baseball because I can. I'm not getting, I don't have a deadline. I don't have to. I mean, when the game's over, I can go downstairs and have dinner and put on MLB Tonight and watch everything else. Do you even have the ability, doing what you do, to follow the rest of the league as closely as you do?
I've actually thought about this a lot because probably my first and second year, that was like one of the biggest things that I missed. I didn't realize that I was, because I mean, growing up, I loved watching all of the league, and then I started working, and I didn't realize, I'm like, holy cow, like, it's not, I can't flip on another game when the Rangers are done playing. It's like by the time I get home, pretty much all the games are over.
And it's nighttime, and you got to go to bed because tomorrow's on the way.
Right. So you very much have to put in a effort to want to do that. And so I watch Quick Pitch every morning, and that's where I get most of my spiel in and get to learn about, what's going on in the league around me. I watch other games if the Rangers are not playing. Most of the time I'm there. I really don't watch other games, so I get a lot from social media, and then Quick Pitch, obviously, get all my highlights in. And then when we're off, I like watching other games. So yeah, it's tough, and it spills over to other sports too. But I would say I try my best to have a very wide array of knowledge about the rest of the league, because that also helps you, of course.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But I mean, I have no doubt, but I think the time, like, I'm watching it for enjoyment. I do this, it's, whatever. But, you're not done when the game's over. You're kind of starting, right? Like, that's when the product needs to be created. Well, and you mentioned Quick Pitch. Here's the thing. I'm going to be a little silly here. If I'm commissioner of the world or president of the world or dictator of the world, Kelly Nash, Quick Pitch, you're not allowed to quit. I am still in love with her. I'm mad at Dallas Keuchel for marrying her. I don't know if anybody even knows what I'm talking about. You may or may not. But outside of my wife, might be the most beautiful human on the planet. And yeah, I wanted Dallas Keuchel to stick with the Rangers a couple years ago just to keep Kelly Nash in town. Do you even know what I'm talking about?
I do. I do. She was the host when I was little. First started watching it. Yeah, they've had a wide variety of
Yeah.
hosts since then.
Yeah.
So kind of
They're
interesting. I grew up on MLB Network, so I know all the OGs, and getting to like run into some of those people has been so cool.
Oh man, if I had a list of people I want to take a selfie with, Kelly Nash might be in the number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 positions. I'm a fan, and yes, it's because she's the reason for global warming. And I like Dallas Keuchel. I always, what I liked about Dallas Keuchel, I didn't like he was an Astro when he was great, but it may have been the best defensive pitcher, outside of maybe like a Greg Maddux, or I'll put an Oral Hershiser up there. A few other names I should probably throw in there, but one of the best defensive pitchers ever. He was with us for a moment in time, and he was horrible. And then he went to Minnesota. He was freaking elite for them for like a month or so.
Actually, I won't lie. I don't know how many Immaculate Grid players we have here, but I play every day, and I
haven't been playing lately, but I love it.
I used Dallas Keuchel for an Astro to win a Gold Glove, and it was not that high of a rarity score. I was kind of surprised at that because that popped to my head rather quickly, and I was kind of like, I don't know about this one. It was actually good, so I was kind of surprised about that.
Love it. Well, I mean, that's a hard one when you're talking about Dallas Keuchel is underrated. I mean, obviously, my audience is probably not going to love Dallas Keuchel, but I love that guy. I thought he was great, and again, I have great love for Kelly Nash. Yeah, where else do you get your news? That's a question I might ask. You kind of jokingly said you'll wake up to Quick Pitch. When you're doing what you do, it's different. I mean, I get to consume it as a fan. You're in the middle of a game. I mean, like tonight, the draft. Well, we're 8 minutes in. I should probably see. Did we make a trade? Did we get? Looks like they did not trade him away. Hallelujah. The pick is in.
The pick is in. Yes.
Yeah.
So my phone is actually a big place to where I get my news. A lot of times, sports news, Bleacher Report, ESPN. I have all those notifications on, and I make it a point to actually read those articles and read those stories and not just close them out. So that's a big thing. Highlights are a big thing as well. As far as sports news, I would say that is probably the main place. Social as well. That's where I can see highlights at games is Twitter a lot of times because I have to use
that makes sense.
So I get to scroll through it. So I get to see the highlights from other games. But yeah, it's a very concerted effort that has to be made. One that I was not aware of when I started and I'm becoming more aware of now.
Yeah, I bet. I like that kind of stuff. Having you on 2 out of the last 3 and having John on last night, it's kind of, I hope it's entertaining for the people who are watching and listening. I think it is. I got really great feedback the last 2 nights about your show and John's show. But for me, it's like, I actually really want to hear the answers to the inside baseball stuff of, being a reporter. Ground ball to Josh Young. That's going to end the inning. Jacob deGrom.
Ooh.
Wow. So when I was younger, talking pre-internet, when games like this were happening, I'll just say it like that, we were all on the phone calling each other. Me and my buddies were like, hey, are you watching this? Or are you listening to it on the radio? Or are you like, it was harder then. Now, there we go. They have a something tracker on the broadcast, says TLC. I'm being respectful of Kane because he doesn't like some words. I would love to be wrong and see him do it. But there is so 0% chance that of all people, they let DeGrom go 9 innings. Well, I'll just ask you flat out. How many innings do you think they let him go if what is happening continues?
I think they might let him do it. I'm not going to lie. I see the pitch count, and I think Bochy is very much a traditionalist. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they let him do it.
I want to be wrong. I want you to be right. I think there's.
I'm gonna just say that because that's what I want to happen.
That's fair.
Some evidence as to maybe why, and argue my case a little bit. Even though
I love that you call Bochy a traditionalist. Let me be blunt as the old guy here. You say that because he's old. I don't think he's a traditionalist at all.
Really? I mean, to an extent, I think.
You know him better than me, but I do not.
Maybe I do too. In terms of that, I don't know. Maybe I would say he's pretty good at keeping up with the times. He, when he drops some slang every once in a while, I'm like, oh, I
know. What did he say? They got bussin'. They got coming out for that now. My daughter couldn't care less about baseball. She'll go to a couple of games with me. I got 4 daughters. I'm talking about one of them. But she couldn't care less about baseball. She'll go. She'll have fun, especially if I have good tickets. She likes to be seen, blah, blah, blah. Instagram pictures, all the silly girl stuff. But She came to me and said, Dad, I don't even know what she didn't pronounce his name right. I don't know what she said, but she was talking about Bochy. Did you hear he said bussin'? We got to go to that game and get the hat. I'm like, shut up, get away from me. I'm never going to take you to that game.
That was a funny. I almost didn't even believe that was real. Like I had to like look around the room and like, did he just say that? Like,
were you there? Were you in the room when he said it?
I was in the room when he said
So
that.
tell the people. I don't know the details on it, so I'll tell it to me and tell everybody what the heck.
Details are okay. This is gonna sound like this is funny. So like we teach him like slang from time to time. Like we will tell him like this is what this means, as Cooper Flag is officially now a Dallas Maverick. We teach him slang from time to time. So we taught him that, but like not thinking anything of it. Like he's not gonna. It started with Emily Jones actually. She was the one that, and we all been kind of teaching him stuff, and we didn't think like that was actually gonna like come up again. And then like first thing, like it's like he had been waiting to drop that line. He looked so proud of himself too when he did it. Like he just goes, yeah, Jacob laughs tonight. Like he was busting. I like look around the room and I'm like laughing, like what? And it was so
Brian. Yeah, that's what Kane just said. Fly ball into left field, 1 out. Who was that? Was that was it Marcus? Was it? Oh, it was Haggerty.
Yeah, it was Haggerty.
Yeah, 1 out, top of 7. Seager 1 for 3 on the day. RBI single, I think it was. Whatever. Top of 7, 7-0. Good guys. So we can blame Emily and Kane for that theme night hat coming up.
Not as much me. I will say that. Not as much me. A lot of times I don't know it. Like I'm very not much on like social media until like everyone turns to me and is like, "Do you know this?" And I'm like, no,
"This is your age." Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like a lot of the stuff they're saying, I don't know. It's like below my time. I don't know.
See, and that. So I'm 55. You're 7. I know you're not 7, but you make me feel old, and in a positive way. But I don't talk to athletes like as much as I maybe did in the past. But geez. I'll just tell this story this way. Kane, you're going to really think you're talking to an old guy here. I remember the first time I ever had a baseball card, 4-3, Corey is retired. And on the back of the card, I looked down and the guy was younger than me. And it was a moment in my life that I did not enjoy. And it was 1989, Kane. It was Steve Avery rookie card, 1989 Topps card. It was like February of 89. I was just out of high school. And this kid on this card, I graduated high school in 88, and I get this card of this kid, and he's younger than me, and I'm still pissed about it. And apparently, he's a really neat guy, and I kind of want to meet him someday to tell him that story. Well, the other day, a kid pitched in the major leagues who was born in 2005.
Let's go, 2005, stand up. That's what I'm talking about. We're gonna start getting some representation in there. Let's go.
Whatever. Thank you. We're like in the opposite end. Will you go to my funeral? No, that's a little more. But I just can't imagine me understanding them having a good time anymore because, I've got kids and I've got grandkids, and I think it's just a different world. And then there's the not only the generational thing, but there's different ethnicities in each clubhouse. Some of them are English as a second language. Ball gets away, we move to second. How does that play out? I hear some good things about our culture, but talk to me about. Maybe the generational doesn't work as well, but it's all of it. Walk me through that.
Well, I won't lie. I've yet to feel like that watching a player, but I did meet Sebastian Walcott for the first time this offseason, and when I was talking to him, I was kind of like, dang, yeah, that's
well, yeah. Is he 19? He's not even 20 yet, is he?
Yes, I believe he is 19. I know he was born in 2006. I was born in 2005, so
that's insane. That's insane.
But yeah, English, for the most part, I would say everyone on the team's English is pretty good. Some guys is second language. I tell people I can hold a conversation in Spanish.
I was just going to ask you, I bet there's some value to that in what you do.
Yeah, my Spanish is not very good. I can hold a conversation. All of our cook staff in the press box, right? I talk to them in Spanish, so that comes in handy. But yeah, for the most part, it's not like it used to be. I remember talking to a couple of reporters before me. It was like when there was a language barrier, it was so hard. Like now they do a good job of we have translators full time and they're there doing that. So they make it very easy. And yeah, and a lot of guys, obviously now teams have English language programs for, young players to go through and stuff like that. So I think it's been smoother as kind of time goes on. From what I heard, obviously I didn't work in it back then.
No, you're right. You're right. And I think there's a marketing and an individual athlete. There's a bigger, how do I say this? I think they understand the value of being able to speak English if you're playing ball in America. I mean, you're not going to get the big contracts. You're not going to get the big endorsement deals unless you're Ohtani, unless you're speaking English. And they mostly all do. I mean, baseball is an American sport played all over the world. So it's kind of the language of the game. I mean, most of the guys, not all, but most of the guys who come over here from wherever at least know enough to have a conversation. I mean, coaches are coaches, right? Am I crazy? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think I think most of the guys that come over, maybe it's more on the side of caution. Like some guys can't, like, just because you see a guy like on an interview with a translator doesn't mean he doesn't understand English.
Sure.
Can speak.
A lot of people think Ohtani can't speak English. He speaks English all day, every day, just not.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. But yeah, I think most of the guys can understand / speak a little bit of English.
Yeah. I want to talk to you about the coaches. Let's reset the game though, because I mean, it matters. We are going into the bottom of the 7th, 7-0 good guys. 9 hits for my Rangers, 9 less than that for the Orioles, up by 7. Back in my time, the only thing would matter right now was the 7-0 lead. Does the starter get to go? Jacob is heading out for the 7th. Is this his last inning? Will he still have what he has right now in the 8th? You should really call your friends and make sure Jimmy and Bobby and Julie are watching this game, because Kane thinks it might have a chance to be historic. I'm not so sure, but we'll find out. I sure hope he gets a chance, and I would love to be wrong. Good guys 7, bad guys nothing. I want to be respectful of you. You still want to stay? I promise. I didn't say.
Oh yeah, as long as it's going on, I gotta stick around.
I do have another guest. We can have you on with him. You don't have to go anywhere. I promised he'd be in the 8th, so we'll send him over an invite here shortly, and we'll have 3 of us on here if it's still going. I wanted to ask you about coaches. You mentioned Bobby Wilson. You mentioned Coach Beasley. I guess I want to ask you 2 things on that. We don't get to interact with them as fans like you might get to. I'm a huge fan of this coaching staff. Tony Beasley, I think, has got a little bit of a love from the fandom because he's a pretty active social media guy. He's got the, I don't know what it is.
I would say he is an active social media guy. I'd say his accounts are active.
That's fair. But he's got a lot of love. The fans love him. But our staff is elite. I think that they're you speak to this when I'm done here. I think Bobby Wilson could be a manager. I think Corey Ragsdale's very boy, that guy's ripped, by the way, but he's very well thought of. Mike Maddox is an elite pitching coach. Obviously, Bochy's going to the Hall of Fame. Who am I forgetting? I'm sure I'm forgetting him. But this coaching staff is great. I mean, obviously, we just lost Venable, but now he's a manager. Well, of course, Boone. I mean, Ecker's gone, but I don't know much about. Is it Veal? I don't even know how to say his name. I don't know much about him, honestly. But the other guys are very. I'm not saying he's not well thought of. I just don't know much about him. But I think that's an elite staff. Do you get to interact with them? What are your thoughts on the coaching staff? Do you have a favorite? Who do you think will be a manager? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think from a baseball perspective, most of the staff, the staff that won the World Series, Ecker, Venable, whatever, that they were brought in under Chris Woodward. So that was a championship level staff that when Bochy came along, he kept because he knew it was a championship level staff.
What a good point. That's a good point.
So, I mean, like you said, I mean, all those guys that have, such elite knowledge and can be in, higher positions very easily. From a personal standpoint, they're awesome. Like, they're great. Like, I love talking to
I've heard only great things about all of them. I really have heard good stuff.
Tony Ecker's not here anymore, but I love talking to him. He was the smartest guy when it came to hitting. He pretty much knew everything, and he broke it down real in the weeds of things, and I liked that a lot. But really, all of them are great. Tony Beasley is awesome. Tony Beasley is probably the nicest guy you'll ever meet. I know everyone says that about everyone, but seriously, with Tony Beasley, it's true. Bochy's great. They're all great to interact with for sure.
I'm a little annoyed with Beasley still because he was throwing filthy thinkers to Doley at the home run derby. But outside of that, I love our entire coaching staff. Talk to Bobby Wilson. I mean, this guy helps Trevino get the platinum glove. I mean, we get new catchers, and they're just elite defensively every time. at least after they leave Bobby Wilson. That guy is underrated.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Look at what Jose Trevino did when he went to New York and now Cincinnati. Look at what really all those guys is. Oh, DeGrom with the walk. Darn.
So the fans in Baltimore, all 9 of them, giving a standing ovation. That's the first base runner of the game, guys. No perfecto, but there's some other things on the line still. Nobody out man on first. First base runner of the game for Baltimore in the 7th. That's unbelievable. I said it to start the game. We need to value the chance to see DeGrom. Now, I know we're on the road right now, but I don't know. Are we home? Is it a 3-game? No. Well, it's a 6-game series, right? So DeGrom will be pitching here pretty quick for us. Go out and see this guy. It's you're going to tell your kids you got to see DeGrom. Anyway, I jumped in on you. Please continue that and then speak to TLC's. What can you say about Booney so far? I'm a huge Boone fan.
Yeah. Booney's great. Great guy. He's very, I don't know, he has a much more hands-on, less analytical in a good way approach. Very much like simplified. See the ball, hit the ball. Watch the game when you're not playing. Like, it's a very simple things, but they are very important things. And he's been great so far. He loves being there. Like, he's out there taking ground balls with the infielders sometimes.
I didn't know that. I love that.
Like, dude, how old is this guy? Like, he's out there just feeling it. Like, he's still got
he
it.
Loves the game. He
loves being around it. He's always posting on social media every time they win, sharing it. Just loves doing the job, and
he interacts well. I mean, he interacts with me all the time. He interacts. Oh,
is that it? Ooh.
Oh, we're good. We're good. F9. Okay, there we go. See, I got the little screen. That one fooled me. We missed a K. We are at 6 2/3 of not perfect, but pretty freaking close.
All right.
Call your friends, call your neighbors. We need to be watching this. I love Booney. I love the Boone family. I love their San Diego family. They didn't play in San Diego, but they're a San Diego family, or at least they were for a time. Ray, Bob, and then the kids, Aaron and Brett. And I don't know who the best one was. Probably Bob, but Brett Boone, underrated ball player. Like, go baseball research. Check out that page. Dude could play, and I love him. I've always loved him. I thought he was really funny and fun and what's the word? Informational. I love guys that know more ball than me. I'm going to listen to them talk if they let me. And Brett Boone is one of those guys that's been doing it for a while. DeGrom looking filthy here. Who's your favorite coach? I'll just put you on the spot.
Oh, I can't. No, I can't answer that.
All right, that's fair. That's because you like a bunch of them, and that's cool.
Yeah, they're all great, really. I mean, it's just like a favorite player. Everyone asking my favorite player.
Who's your least favorite player? No, I'm just kidding.
No, they're all great. Very helpful. Very informative. Whenever I have a question, I can go up to any of them, and I'm going to get a good, thorough answer that's really going to help me out. They're all great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Who is your favorite interview? If you can have this conversation, maybe it's not even. Maybe I shouldn't say interview like that because that sounds more professional. Guy to talk to. Maybe it's a coach. Maybe it's a ball player. Maybe he's not with the team anymore. Maybe it's a fellow employee that's not on the field. Whatever. Who's your favorite?
So many people from a day-to-day basis. There's so many. There's way too many to list. I know we talked about David Robertson earlier. He was a great interview. I can think of players that aren't on the team anymore because when they leave, that's when you're like, oh, they're a great interview.
Sure.
David Robertson, Andrew Heaney was a 10 out of 10 interview.
I love Andrew Heaney. Yeah, I love that guy.
But really, I mean, a lot of guys. Obviously, some guys are better with interviews than others, and like some guys are just good with like conversation. But yeah, I mean, there's so many. Really, it's a character clubhouse, and it spills over players, coaches. They're really all great to talk to. Us. DeGrom issues another walk, and when it was the perfecto, I would have told you that they were going to let him go for it. But now I don't. Not kind of agree. They're probably going to pull the plug pretty shortly. I would have to admit.
That Mike Maddox making the walk. He's not the one that's going to pull the trigger. He's probably going to go to Jacob and say, "How you feel, kid?" What's the deal with Mike's? I'm a touchy feely guy. But if I'm standing on the mound, you're putting your paws on me and my shoulder, I'm probably going to be annoyed. I don't know. Did he do it with Scherzer? I'm sure he did. I don't recall. I find that I want to. If I could ask Mike Maddox any question, it'd be, "Hey, when did you figure out Greg was going to be who he is?" And B, because he was a good pitcher too, but nobody thinks about that because Greg was so elite. And B, what are you doing? I mean, are you trying to get their heartbeat? Like, do you know? Have you asked him a question? Do you have any idea what's he?
I'm not. That's just kind of the infamous thing that, like, I don't know. It works. Like,
I find it weird. If I was a pitcher, I would like. I find it weird that Max Scherzer didn't allow that to happen. Let me put it that way.
I'll say this: Max Scherzer is not as weird as people think he is, and that's
Kane. I trust you more on this, but I am going to call. He is a fun guy. He's a hilarious guy. He's a lunatic.
on his start days. On non-start days, he
On
was
non-start days, he's a lunatic, but different. He's like in the other team's face and telling jokes. Tell me I'm wrong.
he's one of the,
Yeah, baby.
he's one of the best players I've interacted with, and it was funny because when we got him, it was like that's Max Scherzer. Like he's a weird guy, but he was like one of the best players to talk to. Like he was so.
Well, you can be weird and be good to talk to. Come on, he is day game. I love the intensity. I love it. But the other games, you tell me if I'm wrong. You had more access to him than I ever did. Hilarious, funny, watching the game, giving it to the other team, giving it to the umpires, giving it to the guys in the infield. Am I wrong? Like
during the game, yeah. Obviously, I don't interact with players during the game, so
that's fair. That's fair.
I'm speaking from a during BP before the game perspective. Okay. He was great, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not down there during the game, so I think a Doug reporter would probably have a better.
That's fair. I love Max. I think he's got one of my favorite personalities of all time. I couldn't believe we got to, Dodgers, Rangers. Those are my teams, and we had him on both for a little bit, both times. But I love Max. I think he's one of the elite personalities and the elite arms, frankly, of all time. Call your shot. Does he come out for the 8th? TLC wants to know.
Ooh, how many pitches are we at?
Here, I'll pull it up. Oh, I got to send my invite. Are we in the 8th? Holy crap. Let me send my invite to our next.
I think his pitch is probably what I believe 85, 86.
86.
That's right around the number that they've liked to take him out this year. I really think it's flip a coin. I think it's how much does Bochy really care about this thing that's going on versus, his ace. And that's so tempting as a manager. You want to just let him go. But this is right around the number they've taken him out at this year.
It is.
If I had to guess, I would say he's probably done. But we will see. I don't know. I think this is right around where they've capped him. So
I would be shocked is my answer. I would be shocked, but I really want Kane to be right and me to be wrong on his earlier prediction because I love the history of the game. We are going to have another guest here. Are we in the 8th? Like, what inning are we in? I'm a little confused.
I believe we're at the top of the game.
Top 8th. Okay, I didn't miss it. I told him I'd send him the invite. I'm a little later than I normally would, but we're going to have another guest, so hopefully. If everything goes well, I just sent him the invite, and we'll talk about that when we talk about that. This is Kane McCutcheon at Kane McCutcheon 6 on the day. Hey, where were you the day that what are the names? I almost called them the Rangers. The Mavs got Mr. Flag to come to town. Well, you were right here with me and Kane, and hopefully you're having a good time. It go down in history of DFW sports as the day we had a don't call it a yes, and Cooper comes to town. That'd be pretty cool. Depends on
a good story to hear is would be the day that they won the draft lottery. We were actually at the ballpark watching that.
There you go.
That was pretty crazy. That was pretty electric.
The day that Luka got dealt and the day that we got that pick, social media was nuts. Like, we should speak to that. You are a normal human, I can tell, so I already know your answer. Let me just ask it this way: ground ball to first, going to be a 4-3 put out. Whoa, really close at first. I shouldn't have been so assumptive there. What are your thoughts on the craziness that was and is conspiracy theory alley about the NBA or baseball? And then we're going to bring on our guest after you answer that one. Doug, you good? In like 1 minute.
I will say this: I don't do sports conspiracies, and I do not buy them. I'm not saying they are or aren't true, but I choose to not care because I think it ruins it for me if I do. But I'll say this: as a non-Mavericks fan, I will never forget where I was when Luca got traded and how my heart literally skipped beats as a fan. I'm not a Mavs fan, but my heart still literally skipped beats and will never forget where I was to this day.
That's crazy. It's still one of the dumbest things. I can't wait to hear about it in years to come. Doug from MLB Spaces. We've got some news for you guys out here. Doug, how are you, buddy?
Howdy, how's it going?
Going good. Doug from MLB Spaces. Kane's our Rangers beat writer. I don't know if you guys know each other or know of each other's work yet, but now you get to meet each other. Doug, have you been watching the game that we're watching?
I have.
Are you aware of what's going on in this game?
Your Rangers are laying in.
Yes, but there's a bigger story, and if I say it to you, Kane will never come on my show again.
Okay, I already know it. I know.
What are your thoughts on saying it out loud or not? Because I think it's a funny conversation.
Yeah, don't say it.
I'm the only one. I'm the only one who loves the game and thinks it's silly, but I will respect it. Close play at first. I off the bat, I thought it was just going to be an easy 3-1 put out, but he almost beat it out. I love that about Evan Carter. 1 out. Top of 8. 7-0. Good guys. Kane McCutcheon, Rangers beat writer. Doug from MLB Spaces. If you don't know his work, let's talk about it real fast. Over on X Spaces is audio, and he has started a thing, and I love what he's doing. And why don't I shut up? Doug's been on the show for 2 or 3 times, so hopefully we've got new people all the time on the live and on the replay. Ooh, almost gets Josh in the kneecap. Doug, tell Kane and everybody in the chat what the heck MLB Spaces is.
Yeah, so those of you living under a rock, MLB Spaces, I founded about 1.5 years ago, I think. And my aim was just to create a space on Twitter. If you don't know what a space is, it's an audio only. Think of it like a old AOL chat room that's just audio, right? And anyone could come in, join a space. Don't need a camera. You just use your phone's audio. And basically, you can open up a space and talk about whatever you want. So I named it MLB Spaces. So anyone could come in, talk MLB, talk all things baseball without specializing in a team right now, per se. Just kind of whoever wants to come in, talk about some baseball, real easygoing people conversation, and just love talking baseball. Anyone can come in, your topics, your space, your teams. So that's about it.
And it's a lot of fun. If you haven't checked it out yet, you need to check it out. He's got plenty of guests on. He's have current athletes, former athletes, former athletes. Some really good conversations. I don't remember who the first guy was when I found you, but it was somebody I really liked, and the conversation was great. And it's just been every time I've been there, it's been great. And I like it so much that I talked to him about starting a Texas Rangers Spaces. And I haven't gone live yet. Frankly, I wanted your permission, to be very honest, just out of respect. I didn't want to steal the name. I mean, I know you haven't copyrighted or anything like that, but I just like what it is and the idea of it, and it makes sense. And we've agreed to kind of partner up. I'll use that word and spread the word of audio on X and grow the baseball fandom a little bit. Ground ball. So I'm going to dive into this real fast. Jacob deGrom is going to the mound, folks.
Whoa.
Wow. I saw it was him, and then I said, hold on, Jeff, make sure that's him. Jacob deGrom is walking out on the mound. So I will say this, Kane and Doug and everybody in the chat, I don't think you throw him out there in the 8th if you're pulling him out. So I think I just changed my mind, Kane. I think you might be right. Now, it'll be if he gets through this inning and he throws 25 pitches, maybe not. But if he throws 25 pitches, it doesn't matter. I think I've just changed my mind. I would have pulled him here. Doug, would you have let deGrom go back out and try to get some history?
What? How many pitches is he at?
I don't want to lie. Let me pull up. 86 is in my head.
86 pitches? Oh, you got to let him go.
57 strikes, 86 is pitches. How many do you let him go? You let him go to 110?
You let him go.
Kane?
I would let him go. I would let him go.
I don't think that high. I've learned since Bruce Bochy's been hired, my first year in 23, I would kind of like script out bullpen in my head, be like, here's how I would do it. And then like about a month into Bochy's tenure, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm gonna just shut up.
Yeah. Well, it's 12 pitches an inning, guys. Sorry to be the math guy, but it's a little bit more than 12 pitches an inning. So the math becomes 98, 99. So if he gets to the magic number of 100, it's not because it's a round number. That's because it's less efficient than it has been. This has been a freaking, my goodness, this is a masterclass on efficiency. I mean, and frankly, he is every time out there. We talked about it a little bit earlier, Kane. I'll ask you, Doug. How good is Jacob deGrom? And the question is he a Hall of Famer? Like, he's got a couple Cy Young awards. He took a couple of years off. If you had a vote, is he already a Hall of Famer? Does he need to do more? Where do you come out on that?
He missed a lot of time. I feel like he doesn't have the longevity, games started right now,
I'm going to be a little rude this inning, and I'll just keep going, guys, but I'm just going to strike one. Strike one. If something happens, I'm going to let people know.
Without looking, I'm just pulling up his numbers now to really do a deep dive. How many innings pitched does he have?
His counting numbers aren't great.
Yeah,
he's not going to get 2,000 strikeouts.
Yeah.
He's not going to get 300 wins. None of that.
But 2 Cy Youngs, Rookie of the Year.
Right? Best pitcher in the game for a couple of we will not be seeing a no-hitter today, guys. Colton Gausner, hard ground ball. It was clean. Marcus could have been Superman. It would have been an elite play. The crowd is being respectful. Not a big crowd, but they seem to be giving him some respect there. They did with the perfecto going away. Yeah, look at Jacob. Oh, man, look at his face. Oh, that breaks my heart. He wanted it. So that tells me, I'm making some assumptions. That tells me that he thought he was going to stay out. I wonder how deep he's gone in his career. Is that the farthest he's been? 7 complete? I don't know. I don't know the answer, but they're coming to get him right now, as they should. Yeah. Unbelievable. 1-hit ball, 7 innings of shutout. Right thing to pull him out now. I totally agree with that. You guys give me your opinion if you disagree, but one of the greatest games in the history of Jacob deGrom we just saw. And think about what I just said. I'll say it again. One of the greatest games in the history of Jacob deGrom, and we just saw it in Baltimore in a Texas Rangers jersey. I'll shut up. Kane, what do you want to say? Doug, what do you want to say about what we just saw?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you get to see, like you mentioned, one of the greatest games from one of the greatest pitchers ever, it's pretty special. Yeah, he was locked in. I mean, it's really a smaller focus on the bigger picture of what he's been doing all year. I always root for history like I mentioned, as a baseball writer, because you never know. You might go to hundreds of games and never see one. So hopefully you get to see one in person. But even as a Ranger, growing up a Ranger fan, I still have yet to see a Ranger no-hitter in my lifetime or a perfect game.
Well, they're pretty rare. I mean, they're pretty rare. Whenever you could live to be as old as me, even older, and maybe never get one. So no-hitters are one of those things that are going to happen less and less because of the way the game's going. And let's just, before I ask Doug to give me his thoughts on deGrom's effort here, let's tell the people 7 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, 7 Ks, dropping his ERA to 2.08. Wow. Doug, what are your thoughts?
To me, he just kind of falls into that same boat as like a Mike Trout, right? That you wish was healthy for his whole career to really see, over the course of a full career, right? His 2 best seasons, he where he made 32 starts, when he won both of his Cy Youngs. Just digging into his baseball reference page here. But I mean, I am just happy that he's healthy, pitching. We still get to see him a little bit at 37. Who knows? Maybe he gets to go a little longer because he missed a lot of time. Maybe he goes to 43.
That's a really good point. Like, the arm is as old as your pitch is, not your age. Domingo Germán is the answer. I just looked it up because I didn't want to be wrong, Sean, with the question last perfecto. Domingo Germán, who I think is better known for being a putz, if I'm remembering the right person. I shouldn't say that. I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I love your guys' attitude about it. I think I have reverence for baseball history, and I don't think we're going to see him much anymore. I think Kane, you were right. I think that from what we just saw, Bochy was going to at least let him get there if he could. I wish I was in the room tonight. I hope somebody asked him, we're going to let him go. And I hope they asked Jacob. But you can see it on his face. You can see it when it happened. And then you see it on the replay. And then they're showing him right now they're showing him on the victory. He's talking, look at it. And he's talking about it. I would love to hear what he's saying right there. But he wanted it. There's just no doubt. I asked Kane about it. Doug, you ever seen a no-no in person? I have not.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Kane, I want to be respectful of your time. Do you need to go?
Yeah, I'm gonna hop off. I appreciate you for having me. I appreciate everyone coming on.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. I'll try to chop this up and put it out for you. Guys, give him some love at Kane McCutcheon 6. Look up at the game real high and wave at him. And Kane, I'll have you back on anytime you want, buddy. I appreciate you very much.
Awesome. I appreciate you for having me.
There he goes. Kane McCutcheon at Kane McCutcheon 6. Good dude. Give him some love. Doug, what was your game you've gone to that was the most historic or that you watched on TV or your favorite memory or whatever? Something that might be something that people know of.
Wow.
What's your favorite memory?
I think I want to say off the top of my head, the one that always comes back to my mind is I was at a Ryan Mountcastle three home run game. I think 2 or 3 years ago. It was probably 2022 when the Orioles were they had like the summer where they started to get real hot. And I think they won like 10 in a row, and they had a couple walk-offs mixed in there, and just 3 home runs, and they were towering home runs, and it was fantastic.
I think
off the top of my head, but I'll think about it.
You know, I got my youngest, who turns 21 this weekend, didn't like baseball until very recently. She doesn't love it that much, but she likes going to the games. And so second game we went to last year, she wanted to get one of those books where you stamp it every time you go. And you can get it, sweetie, whatever. And I got one for her, and she wanted me to get one for me, so I got one. And I didn't really give it a lot of thought that night. I so wish now, though, that I had that my whole life. Like, I'm old. I'm 55.
Yeah.
I went to a lot of freaking games. Like, I don't even know if I could remember all the big games. My first game I ever went to, I'm old, 1977, the first game that I'm aware of, at least. My dad was a Cardinals fan, and in 1977 in San Diego, the Cardinals came to town, and it was the game that Lou Brock broke the all-time stolen base record. He broke Ty Cobb's all-time record. Now it's, of course, Ricky Henderson. And here, so I'm 7. Here's my memory of it, and I do remember this. I really do. I was 7 years old, but I remember it. I'm standing there, or I'm sitting there watching the game, and everybody in the stadium is aware that Lou Brock's on first. Everybody's there to see this happen, and he goes, and I see him take off, like, because we're all watching it. I see him take off, and that's everything. Because I was little, and everybody stood up, and I didn't see anything at all until they were on the field celebrating all that. But obviously, I was aware of what happened. But I was annoyed at the time as a 7-year-old. But it's a great memory now. And I've been to a bunch. I was at the last game in 1988 when Oral Hershiser in San Diego threw a 10-inning shutout to pass Drysdale's shutout record. This is a funny story, too. I haven't told this too much. Me and my buddy Chuck, who went to the game, we were in the front row. We had tickets for the front row of the field. And we were going to make signs, 50, 51, 52 to get there. And we even joked about, well, we'll do a 10th inning one. And we ended up not doing it. And I wish we would have, because we'd be in the hall. My 18-year-old self would have been in those highlights for Oral, because that would have stood out. But I remember watching Don Drysdale come down, and that was probably the most historic game I've been to. Or I don't know, the Brock. Haven't been to a lot of playoff games or anything like that, but whatever. It might be a nice conversation to have with you on the Spaces sometime, whether it be on the a Rangers one or overall. Ask people about their favorite game they ever saw or their favorite game they attended. Obviously, in '88, talking about the '88 Dodgers, watching Gibby. I was on the couch for that one. I wasn't there, but watching that home run off of Eckersley will stand the test of time in my mind.
That is a good one.
Who was your favorite player as a kid, and what did he do, and why was he your favorite player? I don't know that I've ever asked you this.
Growing up, Derek Jeter was my favorite. He was just getting in as I was kind of getting into baseball.
He has some iconic moments. I mean, my goodness,
yeah.
Right at the end of his career, that play in the cutoff where why was he there? Well, it worked out perfect. I mean, lots of iconic moments from Jeter. That catch he made, oh my goodness, into the stands. Lots of iconic Jeter thoughts.
Yeah. And then I became, then I went to my first game, and that was at Fenway. So I became a David Ortiz fan, and then I loved watching Ellsbury play when he stole home. Loved that. Loved watching. I like those guys who steal, run very well. Love watching Mookie Betts and Kevin Youkilis.
It's funny you talk about those guys. I just saw again that video. I'm sure you're aware of it when it was Veritek. I don't know if it's his wife or whatever. She's filming a guy in a Veritek jersey, and he's, I don't know, eating a dog or whatever. And Veritek comes over and talks to him, and he goes, "Are you a Veritek fan?" And it's Jason Veritek talking to him. Have you seen the video that I'm talking about?
And he didn't know it was Veritek, right?
Yeah. Somebody reposted that today, and I was watching it, and that's a fun group. I wasn't a Ranger or a Red Sox fan by any means, but what a fun, crazy group that. Who was it? Millar and Nomar for part of it, and they ended up. That was a weird one. Nomar was a guy that I really loved. I mean, kind of a quirky hitter, great numbers, hit in a way that hardly anybody hit. The face of the franchise, and then boom, gone. And then they win it all.
Yeah, just like the long list of weird trades that they've had since then.
yeah, some lately. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's weird you trade a player like that and win.
Yeah, well,
it's not going to happen with them this year. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Did you watch what was it? Was it a doc? I'm trying to remember where I saw this, but where they went kind of into that pretty good about
the idiots, right?
Maybe, yeah. I'm trying to remember whatever when he was kind of unhappy and kind of disgruntled, and they needed to ship him off for the betterment of the team would be what the Red Sox said, not unlike what they just did with Devers. It's interesting that we're talking about the same franchise, 20 years later.
It's funny how that happens.
Yeah. Let's talk about MLB Spaces. So you kind of seem like you had an idea for what I kind of said, hey, would you mind if I did this? You're like, nah, well, what are your thoughts about expanding the MLB Spaces world? I don't know what to say there. Franchise, whatever the word is.
Yeah, so absolutely. I would love it, right? So I would love to kind of have like an ambassador, 30 ambassadors, right? One for each team. And kind of, I would be the overarching one. And then, you would just be able to run them with the same, thought and foundation that everyone's welcome. Try to get as many people to talk about whatever they want to talk about. It. That's it. It's super simple, which is why I think that you think it's a good idea too. Here's the funny thing. It really founded out of, I was doing a podcast for a brand that's not around anymore. And it was such a pain to record an episode. Then you got to stay up for a couple hours and edit it, unless you're live streaming like you're doing here, which is fantastic, right? But I'm like, I don't want to do that. I just want to talk and then let it be, right? Okay. And that's what a space is. You can record them. They are recorded. So you can go back and listen to them. And here's the thing. If nobody else joins or talks, whatever, maybe you can bounce your ideas off a wall in the space and people can come hear it later if they want, right?
There's plenty of spaces that don't have guests. I mean, sometimes it's almost a radio show, for lack of a better word, right? And then other times it's freewheeling. I mean, well, famously Elon Musk, the owner of X, is not only someone who hosts them, or at least he used to, but will pop in on some big ones now and then. I really like audio. I like it a lot. I like all of it. Let's be real. But I think that not only is it a fun way, like you just said, to Doug could talk to or Jeff or whoever could talk about whatever, it could be a pregame show or a postgame show, or it could be just, hey, the All-Star voting is done, or the Hall of Fame, whatever the topics are. Or it could be that more freewheeling, hey, get in line. What do you have to say? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's different, but I think it's awesome. Like, I just like it. And I like that you're leading the way.
Yeah, it was a little tough because I broke in with a buddy and then he kind of flamed out on me. So I was kind of doing it by myself, and I'm like, man, this is a lot to kind of do by myself. Um, so
You
well,
talking about the podcast? You talking about Spaces?
Spaces, yeah.
Okay,
Someone that I had running the page with me.
gotcha.
And then I, did most of it by myself. After he just didn't want to do it anymore, which is fine. But it's nice because sometimes people don't want to include. The other reason is because people, the other brand that I was doing podcasts with, would try and do YouTube videos, right? And it would just be a YouTube video of this, my face right here. That would be it. No other stuff to it. Like you got on all yours. You got stats popping up. You got all this cool stuff rolling through your screen. It's not just your face.
I was trying to put it just your face. I don't think I have the option. That would have been funny right there. I'm funny in my own head. Maybe not on screen, just in my own head.
Yeah, but it was for like a half hour of just this dude's head, right? And I'm like, why is anyone going to watch that, right?
You're not Kate Upton, buddy. You're not Kate or you're not Jenny McCarthy, or who's the person who Sydney Sweetie. You're not Sydney Sweetie.
So I'm like, why are we doing this? And I was like, we need to be doing Spaces on Twitter because anyone could just pop in and join when they see it. It's not as advertisable, right, as YouTube, I think. But and you got to like build a following so that when you do have a space, people can see you and then join it. So preparation goes into kind of like the making it, setting the time and date, tweeting it out, advertising it, that kind of stuff.
The prep, yeah. Go ahead. I stepped on you.
No. I was just gonna say I think that's a little easier than setting up cameras and recording, and then if you have to edit something, then you're turning a 10-minute or 20-minute thing into an hour and a half, 2-hour thing. I do enjoy doing YouTube every once in a while. I don't personally, but I enjoy coming on these, how you invite me onto these, but I do enjoy the whole concept of the space.
Yeah, I like it. Cole went on. I didn't say it. Bottom of the ninth, 7-0. Good guys in Baltimore. Gunnar Henderson, the 3-hitter, 0-for-3 tonight, could be the last hitter of the ball game. My Rangers with some quicker numbers tonight. 7-0, about to win the game and the series. 4th road series in a row that we take, unless Baltimore with 2 outs in the ninth can score 8 right here. So I'm feeling pretty good about 4 road series in a row. I'll say it again. I want to talk more about Spaces with you, though. I think that, okay, you said, hold on, I think that might be the game. Ground ball to Corey, who's cheating over on the second base side. That's the ball game. The good guys win 7-0. Throw a shutout, scored a touchdown early, and held the lead. Jacob deGrom, player of the game by far. 1 hitter. Didn't go all 9. But
fantastic.
Fantastic is the word. That is exactly perfect. And we'll talk about the scores here in a minute. But we got Doug from MLB Spaces here still. I guess we don't need that screen anymore, do we? Do you ever? You mentioned they are. How did you say it? You could listen to the replay. Have you ever? And I don't even know if it's possible. I'm assuming it is. Have you ever considered, or have you ever used the audio to create a podcast? Does that work? Is it not something that makes sense?
You can. So you can take it and either download it or export it out. It's been a while since I've done it. I think the last time, and it wasn't me, I'm not the most technologically savvy guy, which is why I like Spaces because they're so easy. But as I was trying to push my other, the other outfit I was in into trying to do more Spaces, we did figure out how to do that. I didn't, but someone in my group did. So that was a couple years ago. So I'm sure it's possible, and to just throw it up there on a pod.
The first one I do, I'll figure it. I mean, I've never considered how to just pull the audio off of the space. I mean, I might even be able to do it with other people's. I don't know. I'll have to check that out. Troy, the Rangers, but I can't say that as good as my guy, but I like it. Troy, how you been, buddy? Best pitching game of the year, right? You know what? Okay, I know you're not a Rangers guys like I am, but for the audience who's here and for me, we talked about this 3 weeks ago, where I think me and you did, where I'm mocking some of the Rangers fandom for giving up already. I don't think you can give up until after the trading deadline. There's 3 or 4 teams in all of baseball who should be talking about selling at this point. I think it's asinine, frankly. But my boys are playing good. They're starting to hit the ball. We score more than 4 runs. We're going to win the game. DeGrom is unbelievable. We get Eovaldi back. Leiter's been good. Malley's coming back. Outside of an elite bullpen, which we clearly do not have, I still think that we have the best roster. Obviously, the Astros are playing good. I'm not going to pretend like they're not, but here's where my brain goes. Jeremy Pena is playing out of his mind. He's going to come back to the world. Cal Raleigh's playing out of his mind. He's going to come back to the world. Framber Valdez is being really, really good. I was hoping he was going to be on the down trend, and he's been great. That scares me. Hunter Brown's great. So they got a 1-2 over there that's elite. Seattle's pitching elite. I got both of those bullpens better than mine. Hader at the end there, and Munoz at the end there. So there's some advantages for those teams. But I really think that the Rangers have at least I'm not going to say a 1-in-3 chance with Seattle and Houston, but I don't think it's much worse than that. You know, I think it's probably, my math, I'm just guessing, probably 20 to 25% chance to win the West. And am I being a homer? Tell me the truth. I still look at this team like there's a run or 2 in it.
Oh, I mean, listen, you have a couple teams in here, right? Man, yes, I still think the Rangers could, right? But all you need is one good run. All you need is a 9-game winning streak, right?
Exactly. I was just going to say that.
There. Kind of, you said, just one good rip, right? And maybe the Astros fall off, or I mean, even if you get a wild card, what's the big, like, you get a wild card. I mean, look at this. If you look at the wild card right now, right, I don't think they updated the standing since the Rangers game went final. So they're going to be 40, right? 40 and 41.
Yeah, we're one game under 500 after this win tonight. Yeah.
So now you're going to be about a half a game behind the Angels, right? You're going to flip-flop the Red Sox, and look what just happened. The Angels and the Red Sox just faced each other, and the Angels just swept the Red Sox and pulled 3 games on the Red Sox. Like, exactly. That's all you need to do. I mean, you guys just sweat, right? Did you sweep the Orioles?
No, we got 2 out of 3. We lost the first one. Yeah,
that's right.
But 4 road series wins in a row. That's significant.
Yeah, you're doing it away from home. All you need to do is go 500.
Haven't been all year, but we're starting to. I mean, that's. I just look at the rosters and my expectations for Cal Raleigh and Jeremy Pena to come back to I'm just taking their big guys right now, are going to come back to the pack more. And I think they've had their best part of 2025. I think ours is still to come. Now, let's be real. Corey Seager blows out his hammy. Jacob deGrom goes on the IL. Okay, maybe we're sellers. But you can say that about them too. J-Rod and Raleigh go down. George Kirby goes back on the IL. They're done. In Houston, if you lose Framber and Pena, and they haven't even had their big bopper, it is what it is. But I just think there's too much variability. Let's be real. I say this to everybody. I say this probably every day to somebody on X. This is my response. The 2024, the Tigers, the 2023, the D-backs, and the 2023 Rangers. I mean, we get the Tigers punted last year. They flipped Flaherty to LA, and then they went, oh, damn, we're in the playoffs. That's crazy. I think that's fireable. I think that is the wrong. I think the guys who are in charge of my organization, I want them to be Pollyanna. I see the best in it. I mean, if they're wrong, get rid of them. But the Tigers should have played for 2024 last year. Flaherty was great for the Dodgers. Don't tell me they don't go. Look at how far they went. That you wanted Flaherty. I mean, they went and got him back. I think that's insane. And then when we get off that, I want to ask you about one more thing, and then obviously we'll be late here. I hope you don't mind, but I'll let you go, and we'll close up here after one more question after you take that.
Yeah, the thing is, you can have all these stats, all these great players, all this stuff, but you know how much luck you need
A lot, yes.
to win? It's like 50% luck. You just don't know what's going to happen. An injury,
People don't want to believe that, but you're so right. These are elite level athletes on both sides. The worst player on the field today is like, well, 1,000 times better than I ever was, right? These guys are elite. And the difference between a Hall of Famer and an All-Star is a lot, but there's a lot of luck too.
it's just catching a good team when they're struggling, right? So or catching a hot team when they're hot, right? That's just either good or really bad luck. You just don't know. And it sucks because so many baseball people think about it in numbers, right? But think about, like, you have to be over the numbers, right? And like, you have to have a couple guys having career seasons to have that ultimate season, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
I love numbers. I'm a numbers guy.
I do too. Yeah.
I love math as a kid. I love baseball as a kid. I fell in love with baseball before I could do times tables. Let's be real. And it was part of it was I was good at one because of the other and vice versa. It's just they go together. But that said, and people I don't think agree with this or believe this, but I'm gonna give some truth, and you can argue with me if you want or in chat or whatever. Numbers are about the past. Like, they give you a story of what has happened, and from that you can glean what you think's going to happen, but you don't know. You don't know. It goes away for everybody. You know, age beats us all, and you don't know it. Are you done at 23? Are you done at 33? Are you done at 43? I mean, Max Scherzer is pretty rare. It happens to everybody. And whatever the numbers are, they aren't. They were. It's a story of the past. It's a history book. And so to project the future, like, that's what I feel like I'm saying when I say, like, we've joked about it the last time you were on. Me and Rangers Twitter aren't good buddies. And I see the Rangers Twitter people talking about, well, Marcus is a 188 hitter. No, he's not. He's hit 188 so far in 2025. Yeah. Well, now he's at 235 3 weeks later. I mean, I think that, and Corey Seager the other way. Is Corey Seager the guy from October of 2023, or is he the guy in June of 2025? It doesn't matter. July 2025 is what's next. So I just think that as much as I love numbers in baseball, they're probably overused in guesstimations of the future, in my never so humble opinion. I'll let you speak to that.
No, I completely agree. Someone could get hot tomorrow and someone could go super cold tomorrow, and that could change the whole outlook of the season or the year or a career, right? Yeah. And that's it. It's just playing for tomorrow. It's showing up every day, right? Putting in the work and just going out there and playing. Yeah.
And that's what Bochy's doing every day, or whoever, when they're making out the lineup. They're seeing what has happened in the past, what they know about the health and the everything about the ball player, and then you're seeing who you're playing against, and you're making your best guess about what's going to happen in the future. He's not going to hit a home run off of who was the reliever that came in for Arizona every time he goes up against him. But, I can't think of his name right now. Seawald, but he might have a nice track record against him. But, it's about what do you think he's going to do? And you got to take the information you have and spit it out. Yeah. To me, Doug. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you take a look at the guy you're seeing a lot in your division in Colorado, who's killing it right now, who should be the MVP winner right now, right? He could not hit another home run the rest of the year, right?
and be the catcher of the year, yeah, for sure.
He could, yeah. It just depends.
It's crazy. 30 bombs in the first. And when they showed me that, I saw the list a couple times of the most home runs before the All-Star break for catchers. I'm like, how are there that many guys with that, man, behind the plate too? And then you look at it even more. I mean, I think Bonds has the record or something, but numbers are fun. Right. This is Doug, MLB Spaces, at MLB Spaces on X, formerly known as Twitter. We have created Texas Rangers Spaces. It's going to be fun. I don't know when we're going to start it up, but we'll get that out there, let some people follow it, and start doing some shows in conjunction with MLB Spaces. Doug's idea of having what's the word you used? I liked it, but I don't remember what it was. A representative? I don't think that was the word you used. Somebody from each team.
Ambassador.
Right? Ambassador. Yeah. That's a better word. I knew it was a cool word. I couldn't remember what he said. I love the idea. I do want to ask you a topical thing.
Sure.
You're getting to know me pretty good. I've got some strong opinions about ball players and fans. What the heck did we see with in Chicago with the Ketel Marte thing? The guy has been ID'd by the White Sox, was told he will never come back to a White Sox game. MLB said, good job, White Sox. You're not coming to a game indefinitely for the rest of your life in any ballpark. What are your thoughts? I am very anti heckling. I always have been. I've worked with kids from coaching to after school programs, and I've always tried to teach my kids to respect each other. And when fans get all liquored up and act a fool in the ballpark, I'm definitely the guy that they're going to be pissed at, because I'll tell them to shut the heck up. I got kids now. I don't get to as much as I used to, but what the hell? What are your thoughts? I actually had like 5 or 6 people reach out to me and take the side of the dumbass. Like where
they could go kick rocks. There's no place. There's no place. And for whatever reason that we're seeing it, it seems like we're seeing it more, right? To where
100%.
Fans are doing this kind of stuff, right? And
it's because of this. It's because of this.
Yeah. And the players are reacting to the fans, right? You see this player confrontations with fans all the time. I don't ever remember seeing that, but I feel like it's commonplace now. Rendon did it, right?
That one was crazy. Well, we had 2 in one
ago,
game the other day in Pittsburgh, I think it was, or well, it was with the Pirates. And there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, and I think they see it in basketball a lot.
Yeah, well, they're so close in basketball. Like you spill a drink in the front row, it's on the court.
Yeah, but ultimately, I'm on the same side, right? I got 2 little girls, and I don't want to go to a game and hear these people run their mouths to where, my kids think it's okay.
We had one the other night where we were in left field. We were in section 101 for those of you at Texas Rangers, right below Hurtado Barbecue, row 2. I don't know, right? Not too far from the foul pole, and some dumbass, sorry, I can't find a better word for it, comes down to the edge, right? And he's on the edge. And I used to have season tickets in that section a couple years back. Row 6 on the aisle. I love those seats. They were the closest seat to the foul pole. I loved it. It was such a great spot. But anyway, I would see almost every night some idiot get liquored up and come down there and scream at the opposing left fielder. Like almost every night. And the security guy, and it was kind of steep, and they're old, and he had to go on down there. And it took a good at bat sometimes for the guy to get down there. And the guy, first of all, even if they hear you, they're not going to respond 99.9% of the time. I said this to one of the idiots who defended it. Or maybe I said it somewhere. Maybe it wasn't to one of these. It doesn't matter. What's the ROI? What's the return on investment from as a fan to get Randy Arozarena to look up at you and be mad at you? Like, what do you go home and brag? Are you like, is that your biggest moment? Like, what am I missing? I don't expect you to have an answer, but what the hell?
No, you're not missing anything. And the White Sox and MLB followed suit perfectly, right?
I agree.
Don't let that guy back in. We don't want those types of people here. And the thing is, we want positive fan entertainment, right? To where, you can see Aaron Judge playing catch with a kid in the stands, right? And the more a-holes that we get doing that kind of stuff, the less of that cool stuff, seeing autographs signed before the game and all that kind of stuff. Like it's just not going to happen anymore because of people like that.
You know what it's going to do? It's going to raise the prices. Like people, I might be an arrogant jerk here, but you go to Disney and you see a family of 19 and the dad is screaming at the mom. What are we doing? Like every day you get a video of somebody in public acting a fool. I don't want that at the ballpark. I really don't. I want the game to be accessible to everybody. I want everybody to be able to go to the ballpark. But we've got to figure out a way for society to stop feeling like they have some rights. Like I hear all the time, and when I get into these conversations on X or wherever, almost 100% of the time, some idiot will say, I paid for the ticket. I have a right to what I'll call dumbassery. Like, I don't know why. Like, somebody who I even like said today, well, I will, how did he put it? I'll heckle, but there's a line. And I've heard there was over the line a bunch. I don't get heckling. Like, I get it. He went over the line. I would say the line is nowhere near that. Like, why are we accepting of people in the public yelling at athletes? Like, they're there for our entertainment. I get that, but that should not allow us to abuse verbally. And if somebody came into my work and said something to me, officers would be having a conversation with me at the end. I mean, I'm old and fat now, but maybe I would lose the fight now, but there would still be one. Like, I just don't understand it. And maybe that's me being a jerk. I don't know.
Yeah. If you don't like the product on the team, you're gonna.
It's never that though. It's never that. It's I want to have attention. I want to tell the idiot girlfriend that I'm sitting next to that I caused him to look up at me and woohoo. I mean, like even when there's a fly ball, they're like, oh, miss it. But I don't care. I don't mind them doing that. But they're not going to miss it because you're yelling. Like, what? Do we not live on the same planet?
To me, it's either just go home, or if you don't like what you're seeing, if your team's getting blown out, like leave. Just go.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we have any answers, but if we figure it out,
there's a lot of stuff that I don't agree that MLB does the right thing, but they definitely did the right thing. Yeah.
Well, it would have been hard to swing and miss on this one if you're MLB. I mean, the White Sox and MLB are looking good in their response, but I think they put this one on a tee. This is Doug at MLB Spaces. He's going to go live a couple nights a week. Why don't you give him your schedule? Do you have anything planned that you want to promote? Anything at all like that before we call it?
Yeah, I don't have it scheduled yet, but we will be on tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. I will have it on my page at some point, probably tomorrow morning or later tonight. And again, Rangers fans, all welcome. So if you're seeing this, you want to come chat baseball. I don't know what time your game is tomorrow night.
No game tomorrow. I was just going to tell you, I think we have dinner plans, but we've got somebody in a guest right now. But that might be a night I can go do that or jump on, even if I'm having tacos somewhere. I might be able to jump in on that. So you might see me in there. Is there a topic tomorrow or a guest or anything or open discussion? What?
Nope, nothing special. I'll probably pick a game to kind of watch. That's what I've been doing. I've been picking a random game. Like if it was if my space was at 2:00 today, it would have been Paul Skeen's game, right?
Ooh.
Which is fantastic.
Wasn't the Paul Skeen's game? It was the kid with the hard last name to say game. Wow, yeah. That guy.
I was listening to I was watching the Angels Red Sox games today, and I don't know who the announcer is for the Angels, but they said, Paul Skeens gave up 4 runs, and then he says, let me see if I can put it out. He says, you're only the hot topic until there's a hotter topic. So meaning, hey, Paul Skeens gives up 4 runs. He's just another diamond.
He's peaked.
He's just now Jacob Mizraski is the guy we're talking about now.
What a start to a career. Like Fernando Valenzuela level insane asylum great.
So me and my wife joined a Yahoo fantasy league, just us and with random other people. And I end up doing, she always asked me for my opinion, but she had, someone that was on her bench on the IL. And I was like, you can drop this person because they're having Tommy John or they're out for the rest of the season, right? I said, all right. I was like, pick up this guy. So I picked up Mizraski for her. And
I love it. Well, she's going to ride him for a while. Like, you're not this good and then just lose it. Like this guy, I'll say it again. Fernando Valenzuela start of a career. Like that's unbelievable what he's doing. I'm excited. And the Brewers, like everybody thinks that the NL Central is over, and they are all wrong. I picked the Reds in the NL Central. I didn't have a belief in the Cubbies. I guess I was wrong. They're having a really good year. But did you? Well, Milwaukee's coming and Cincinnati's coming, so they better stay hot. That's all I have to say. That's going to get tighter.
I'm very in tune with Cubs Twitter too.
Yeah,
and just because I have a bunch of people who I speak with that are Cubs fans, so I'm always kind of pulling for the Cubs for them. I kind of pull for teams of my friends, right? So like,
oh man, I'm the other way. If you like, all my friends are Padres fans, so I root against them.
So I'll pull for the Cubs too, but it's it's a lot tighter than I thought it was going to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a fun summer. It really is. It'll be a fun summer and an early fall. I think this year's going to be. I think there's a lot to come. I think it's been really fun so far, and I think it's going to be a lot to come. All-Star break in a couple weeks, and then we get to the trade deadline.
We're at the halfway point, like today. The Red Sox
really?
played their 82nd game today.
No way. Okay. Wow. There you go. Yeah, 81 is exactly half. So, wow, I didn't realize that. But yeah, I guess you're right. Interesting. And my Rangers are one. And my Rangers are 1 game under 500. That's okay with me. I'd rather us have a lead, but we ain't out of it. I kept you long, buddy. Sorry about that, but I enjoyed this conversation. MLB space is Doug right there. Texas Rangers space will be a thing that I'll try to build up a little bit. I hope you guys check that out. I don't know when we'll do the first one. I haven't even really kind of gone public too much with I just throwing it together. But we'll get going on that, and I'll put it in my communities and all that, and we'll start doing that. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, honestly. I'll probably just kind of steal some of your ideas and or do a pregame or a postgame. How long? I mean, this isn't maybe inside baseball stuff. Before I let you go, how long do you think is a good time? Like, are 10 minutes good? Is an hour good? Like, what's the time commitment on a show that you think is a good sweet spot?
It just depends. I've had some where
on the conversation or
yeah, if it's good conversation, it could go an hour, 2 hours more. It just depends on who's there, how long you want to stay talking, how long people hang around. It just all depends. I've done some that were a couple hours, and I've done some that are 10 minutes. Nobody there.
Wow. Okay. Analytics wise, do they give you how many people pop in?
Yeah.
Like here on YouTube, they have viewers. Does Twitter?
Yeah. It'll tell you all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to learning all that stuff.
It'll tell you how many speakers, how many people spoke, how many people joined. It'll give you all that.
Love it. Well, I'm going to dive into that, and I hope you guys who are watching on the replay or here live will go check out Doug at MLB Spaces, and then when we start doing them here with the Texas Rangers, you give that a shot too. That's Doug at MLB Spaces. My name is Jeff Bates at Jeff Bates on X. I appreciate every single one of you. Doug, I'm going to close up. You can stick around and we'll talk in a minute if you'd like. But yeah, my name is Jeff Bates. I hope you subscribe over at Texas Rangers Clubhouse. Doug, MLB Spaces over on X. Rangers blast. The Orioles take their 4th road series in a row, day off tomorrow. 3-game set starts, what would that be, Friday at home with Seattle, and then we get Baltimore back here. Biggest series of the year. Yeah, Cal Raleigh, J-Rod, and that pitching staff. Munoz at the back. It's an important. Let's be real. We get swept. That's a bigger hill. We sweep them. It's a lot smaller hill. So these next 3 games are massive. So I hope everybody gets some sleep on the flight back, and they're ready to play in the not heat of our indoor stadium, Globe Life Field. I'm going to end this now. Guys, I appreciate you being here. Zero, Sean, everybody, Braden, James, everybody who's been here for the whole show or a little bit, or anybody who's watching on the replay. You can't. Just thank you. I appreciate it. You don't have to go, but you can't stay here. Have fun storming the castle. See you next time. Not tomorrow live. I've got some videos that will drop probably, but we will be live Friday night. I will not be live Saturday or Sunday. Family stuff, but I'll see you Friday night. You want to say bye, Doug?
Bye, Doug.
I knew you were going to say that. I don't know why I knew you were going to say that. See you, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you had a good time, whether we won or we lost. I guarantee I had a good time because you were here. I appreciate you being part of our Clubhouse crew, whether you're on my YouTube channel at Texas Clubhouse or over on my Twitch, also at Texas Clubhouse, whether you watch on X at Jeff Bates on X, wherever, you're the best because you're here. You stayed all the way to the end. It means a lot. I'm going to drop my link tree right here so you can check me out other places. Listen, it just means a lot that you spend a little bit of your evening or your daytime with me here, watching a little baseball, talking a little baseball. I love this. I love building a community. I love watching baseball. I love talking baseball. And I'm just talking to myself if you're not here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you want to do anything cool for me, like the stream. Of course, I'd love it if you became a member of the channel and all those things. But the most important thing is you are here. And I hope you come back again. I appreciate you. Have the best day ever. Go Rangers.